Start streaming. Your event is starting. Dun, 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 dun. As I can. Perfect. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to bonus content. I'm here. Nobishin's here. Our guest Miranda is here. How are you doing, Miranda?
I'm doing okay.
Just
Today was a good
okay?
day at work.
Yeah.
I got to buy too much barbecue and make a mess of myself, so that was rad.
I mean, too much barbecue or not enough barbecue. Think
Well, it was
about it.
enough for 40 people, so I'd like to say too much.
Oh man, that sounds limited. Have you ever been to Texas, Miranda?
I have not.
Okay, I went there for the first time last year, and I had Texas barbecue. It legitimately changed my life.
Really, really.
I had this brisket that was just like so wet in my mouth. I know that sounds disgusting, but
No,
like,
no, no. I get it.
no, you get it. And like, I've had South Carolina barbecue, very good in a very different way. It's kind of like dry and I don't know, it's flaky in a way that's really great. But this was just like I'm literally drooling right now thinking about it. It has such a strong Pavlovian effect on me that thinking about this barbecue. And I had like a sausage and just like I would have eaten that brisket for like a full hour, as much as I could put in my body. That's how
Jesus.
that's how melty and delicious it was. And I was like, well, I can't have barbecue without mac and cheese. And the
Of
thing with their
course.
mac and cheese was it had like black pepper in it, and it was surprisingly great.
Oh, yeah. That's the way to do things.
Yeah,
Everything's better with a little pepper.
yeah. Apparently that's the Jeff Gersman way of doing it. He talked
I
about
don't know
that.
who that is, but I believe you.
He's from GiantBomb.com. It's a video game
Oh,
website.
okay, okay.
He talked about that on a Giant Beast cast he was on. And I don't know. I've never really thought about that. Like just putting black pepper on a cold cut sandwich directly.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds all right. Maybe I gotta
It's
get into this.
superior to all things. That's like a thing. Like that's not an option on every sandwich site you've ever been to.
No, I've not noticed
Really?
it at least.
Literally all of them here say like salt and pepper is one of the ingredients that's always clicked.
Okay,
Like,
okay. That's good that they let you know it's coming too. So I don't know if that I would want to be surprised by that. It might be a good surprise. Who knows? I'd like to know. Miranda, I want to talk to you about something very specific. You were on the show, I don't know, like 6 years ago. It all bleeds,
yeah.
it bleeds together. Tell me about Vertical Slice.
Oh
Uh,
God.
I know, I hit you with the promo right from the get go. We'll revisit
Too
this.
much.
We'll revisit this once we get out of bonus content into the real show. But this is your forum to talk about it a little bit more
Okay.
extensively because that's new since you were on the show before.
Yes, it's pretty new in general. I think we launched in January,
That sounds right.
so we're like in our fourth, fifth month now, however calendars work.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's been it's been a ride. It's been wild. So we'd all been talking about doing something like this for so long, and like we'd seen like you guys and OK Beast and other people we know just doing really well doing it. And we were like, we think we could do an okay job at the very least.
Yeah.
So we finally just got all together. My friend, I have one of the people there, the guy I do my anime podcast with, Parker and I have been best friends for 16 years. And he finally got assimilated into this other friend group, and he was like that like missing piece because he's one of the funniest people I know. Um, and it all clicked, and we were like, okay, we're doing this. And we went to PSX, and we were all there. We recorded our first podcast, and things have never been the same.
It all burned down from there.
It did really.
How's it feel? So like because I'm terrible at following my own friends' content, but
That's
uh,
okay.
how's like consistency been for you guys? Like, do you feel you've been good and consistent since you launched?
Oh yeah, for sure. We put out 4 pieces of content every week. We do our main podcast, a piece of written content, our anime podcast, and then a let's play. Um, and we had a minute there where our let's plays got shaky, but we figured it out, and now they're coming out every week. So
That's good. What kind of
it's
games do you
been
play?
it's been very consistent. Um, Parker and I are doing a Let's Play of Prey
Okay.
because it's fun and scary. And then Trevor and Steven are doing a Let's Play of Dark Souls, but they also get together and they do this like awful, awful games thing
Okay.
where they just pull like something out of nowhere that's one of the worst games in existence, and they play that
They're like, I really
for a
want to
little
get
while.
into Glover from the N64 like right now.
No, 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 like worse. Like this week they did
It's impressive to be
Nat
worse.
Geo's like Wonder like Wildlife or something.
All right.
Like all I know about it is that it asks them a lot of questions about piranhas because I haven't had the chance to watch it yet.
That's all right. Piranhas sound all right though. Piranhas are cool. I like them.
Everybody loves piranhas.
That's not true. I feel like other fish don't like piranhas.
Fish aren't people. Their feelings don't
Whoa,
matter.
fish are people too. They're friends, not food, Miranda. Jesus.
My God.
You really stepped on a fucking hairpin there. No, that's cool. Like I was really excited. It felt like a natural thing coming. You guys
That's
obviously
nice.
yeah, I mean like I played Overwatch with y'all drunk enough to know that this was the thing that should happen.
You know, it's funny because when we first started, we were like, we're gonna do a drunk Overwatch community night every week, and then we all just are very busy people.
Yeah. That and like
And
your
we were
liver
like,
can only
"Shit."
take so much.
Not once a week, sorry, once a month.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Much
Jesus.
more
Sorry.
reasonable.
I realized I misspoke.
Yeah.
And then we just got all busy and shit, and we were like I have a new social group now. People I hang out with people instead of staying in my room all weekend.
Oh, that sounds terrible. I mean,
It
like more
kinda
power to
is,
you.
to be
Steven's been on the show before. It's been a while since he was on. But you know, he brought his wonderful negativity here and really just laid
Oh,
us
of course.
laid us all down. But no, it's very cool, and I'm very excited for you. I know it's still pretty early on, but
Yeah.
do you?
We're chugging along.
Yeah. Do you guys feel like you have like just a really strong community outreach, like something like OK Beast, where they're just like dropping Patreons and getting ready for it?
God, no. Like, even before we started, we were like, it'll be a year before we expect literally anything to happen.
That's responsible.
Yeah.
It was
So
like
we
six
have
for
no
us, so yeah.
Like, we're like, if we put out content consistently for a year, 4 times a week, maybe moving to more when we get that chance, then hopefully in a year we'll be able to do something, but who knows?
Yeah.
If it all falls down, then it all falls down and we live our normal lives.
Yeah. I don't know. I think you guys are on a good path. I believe in all of you.
Aw. Honestly, I'm just excited that I made a logo that's cute. That's that cute.
Hell yeah. I liked it a lot. So I mean
I
I don't know if that
So
helps
we-
at all.
We went into PSX with a logo that was just ridiculous. That was just based off an in-joke we had when we were trying to think of a name. Because for some reason somebody suggested Nocturnal Transmissions. And I was like, we have to use that. And they shut it down. So when I drew our initial logo, it was like an owl with a PlayStation remote for eyes.
Oh, that's cool.
It was neat, but then I was like, I need to do something serious. So on a napkin on my plane ride back from PSX, I designed our new one.
For reference, for listeners, since we didn't, I failed to properly explain it. Vertical Slice video game website, group of wonderful people, including Miranda here. Who all is on it? I know Steven. I know Sam.
Steven Santana. Sam Horton. Trevor Thompson, who's Steven's best friend. Eric Petralia, #1 best boy. And me and my friend Parker.
Okay. Eric Petralia out there trying to get that cutest boy award every year.
He's just a sweet summer child. He can't help it.
Yeah, he's very adorable. And a great photographer. Worth noting.
Yeah. I don't know why he hangs. He's also a great video editor.
Really? Okay. I don't know if I've seen
He
any
lets
video
us
he's
take
done.
advantage of him.
Okay. That's really cool. I will say, like, you can follow him on Twitter at @verticalslice_. Hot branding right there. Big fan
Oh
of that.
God, we're changing it soon, actually.
Okay. Well, that may change soon for listeners, but the banner image in particular on your Twitter account I like a lot.
Eric designed that. Isn't it sexy?
It's very
Very
sexy.
proud of him.
I'm always proud of Eric. Um, well, cool. It's nice to have you back. It's nice to be able to talk about your cool thing because I listen. I have my suspicions beforehand. I felt it coming. I felt some big group thing. It was definitely that drunk Overwatch stream. I don't know. Maybe somebody said something to me. I don't know. But I'm very
I don't know.
excited for you guys.
We were pretty hush hush about it before we launched. Like none of us brought it up because we were like, what if we don't launch?
What if this all falls apart right before we do this?
Right ahead of the start line.
Either way, go follow them. How often do you stream?
Right now we don't.
Mm-hmm.
We're working on it,
Okay.
but lives.
There was
and
a
whatnot.
time when I saw a lot of
Where we-
streaming tweets.
Yeah, we were streaming pretty regularly for a while, like before we really got into the swing of things, and then once we did, we just stopped.
Yeah, I feel that. I'd love to stream. That's like every time I go to a PAX or any event, really, I always come back with like these big grandiose ideas of like, I really just want to get into streaming. Like, I really want to do that. And I always like create a wish list on Amazon of all these things I want to buy. And I know myself well enough now to like hold myself back from really spending a lot of money and going hog wild.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm so busy. I don't have enough time. And my schedule at work is so inconsistent. So
Can I ask? What do you do?
I can't say on air, unfortunately.
Okay.
It is a thing I like to keep very separate from my irrational passions life. But
No, I get that.
I will tell you after we are not live.
Okay, thanks. I wonder that about everyone who also does this.
Mm-hmm. I recently
like
there was a big transition to full time as well, so it's exciting
Okay.
stuff. I wish I could talk about it like on Twitter or whatnot, because I definitely have those moments where I'm like, I did something I was really proud of today, but it's like I gotta keep this separate. I work for a company that I do not want people to know that I work for, so.
Okay.
Just privacy wise, you know.
The devil, I get it.
Yeah, I work for Satan. He's very nice. He pays very well. Benefits are incredible.
Hot demon babes. All
Honestly,
the time.
depending on who you ask, you're not that far off. So, but Nabashin gets me. He feels me.
I got you.
A friend of mine worked for lobbyists for a while.
Ooh.
So we were like, you literally do work for the devil.
But you could say lobbyists on the internet, and people won't know what you're talking about. They won't know exactly who.
Yeah.
I work for the concept of lobbying. That doesn't sound like a fun job, though. Let's talk about Deadpool, Nabashin. You went and saw Deadpool.
Yeah.
I want to know how was it?
It was good. It was really good. I did the best thing to do with that movie because, like, I remember when the first Deadpool came out, like, I watched the trailers and everything, and like, I pretty much like told like most of the jokes, or at least most of the good jokes, I should say, ahead of time. So like, it pretty much felt flat when I actually saw the movie. When those jokes came around, still a good movie. I still like Deadpool a lot. But it was an issue. So like I made sure not to see anything on Deadpool 2 as far as like previews and stuff like that. Just so I get like all the jokes fresh and stuff like that. Cause like it was funny too, cause like in the theater, like I heard myself laughing, but then like I didn't hear everybody else laughing. I was like, oh, that must have been like in the trailer or something that a lot of people have seen. But yeah, it was good. It's good because of not necessarily because it's like really funny because it is, but like it's good because it's like there's no other movies like Deadpool and Deadpool 2. It's kind of like not necessarily this, but like it's in its own way, it's kind of like the Scary Movie or Not Another Teen Movie version of a superhero movie. That's not like superhero movie from like a few years ago. Because it's like it makes reference to those, like he sees like Josh Brolin calls him Thanos in one scene, so it's like, oh, that's funny.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and like he makes references like to DC and like other movies, and like he breaks the fourth wall as far as like talk about the characters as far as like who they actually play as, and like obviously the cameos in the movie, which is like are like pretty much the highlight of that movie, like the cameos and like the very like end scene of this movie, or like the highlights of the movie as far as like cool shit in that movie, as far as like like insanely funny because it's like, oh my god, you really just did that. That's crazy. That's funny. That's hilarious. Um, but yeah, it's really good. And like I think it's a really good movie because of that. And I enjoy it. Like I was thinking about this recently. Like as much as I like Deadpool and Deadpool 2, like it doesn't like touch as far as like me, as far as like my funny bone, as far as like something like Thor Ragnarok. Like Thor Ragnarok is like the combination. Like that's like my favorite hero movie ever, I think.
Yeah, man. I don't know if I've ever laughed as hard as I laughed
Yeah,
in Thor Ragnarok. Holy shit.
it's so weird, like comparing them because like like Ragnarok, or I should say Deadpool, is made to be funny, but like I guess it's more of like dick and fart jokes funny, and it works for me. It's funny, it's still funny, but like there's something about Thor Ragnarok in the way that's written and like the timing and like even like the improv in that movie is just like just so fucking good, and it's like I don't know, like, but yeah, Deadpool 2, I highly recommend. It's good.
Yeah, I watched the first one for the first time like 3 months ago. Like I'd still not seen it.
I think I saw that the day it came out.
Yeah. Was it Valentine's Day 2016?
Yeah.
Does that sound right? And I wanted to see it. It wasn't like a thing where I was like I actively didn't want to see it. I was just like not super like I never really saw the appeal.
Okay.
And as much as I love superhero movies and I ended up really liking Deadpool, maybe because my expectations were a little bit lower. The thing I was surprised about the most was like how it had like a very understandable and like solid like
relationship.
No,
rom-com?
relationship, yeah, but like the narrative, like the through line of the story was like actually really well done. And the only thing I didn't love was like how most of it was told in the flashback. But like once it kind of caught up to itself, the way it played out from there was very funny because it is like fully in itself, and it was kind of worth the back and forth of the narrative to get there. But like just like the through line of that story was actually really good. It was based very heavily on that relationship, and that actress, I can never think of her name, but
Morena Baccarin.
yeah, she's really great, and I really liked her in the TV show V. If anybody wants to dig deep in there, she's also really great in Firefly. Yeah. She's so good in Firefly. Fuck, I totally forgot until now. I have to
that get that hot beat. Bring that up.
Yeah, let me bring up this NBC show that's a remake of a movie that wasn't that great. But like I have to forget about Firefly because if I remember it, I feel sad because of where everything goes with that. Like you get me, Miranda.
I do.
But man, there's a new Nathan Fillion show called The Rookie, and I'm like,
I know. I just saw the preview for it. I'm like, it's gonna be so bad, but I'm gonna.
I'm here for it because I'm fucking here for anything Nathan Fillion's for. I just want to support you.
I feel bad after not ever watching Castle.
Castle's so good. It is unironically great. So I stopped watching it into season 8 though because like it got real sad and I was like I can't handle this anymore. It's too real. But it was nothing but excellent up until that point. But yeah, like I don't know. That really brought me into Deadpool 1. Does Deadpool 2 have a similar thing, or is that like saying too much about it?
It's not like it's pretty much a straight line, other than like stuff that happens in the beginning, like as far as like what happens, like the only like really like weird thing about it is like the whole Cable aspect of it. Like Cable's the guy from the future who comes to the past, and like it's been forever since I watched X-Men or read anything like X-Men related, and like I kind of forgot about like how Cable's origin story and stuff like that. So like you just see this guy with a bionic arm that's coming by from the future to the past, and like you don't really understand why, and the movie doesn't really explain it all that well. So it's like and you just like so you just take it for what it is, and it's like and it's still good though. Like Josh Brolin's like really good as Cable. Someone who steals the show though, Domino, the woman who plays Domino, the black woman who's like mutant powers her being lucky. They do like a lot of cool stuff with her.
Oh, cool.
That's exciting.
That sounds cool. I'm excited to see it at some point. I probably I don't know if I'm gonna go on my way to see it in theaters, but
yeah, it's definitely worth the watch. But like going like I wouldn't pay to watch it again. I would say.
I'm still a little fucked up after Infinity War. If we're all being honest with each other, like I'm in a dark place. How are you doing, Miranda?
I have only negative feelings about the end of Infinity War. So I'm not sad. I'm just pissed off.
Right.
That's fair. Like I really like that movie. It's just a thing where I'm like, it exhausted me in a lot of personal and emotional ways.
Yeah, I wrote an article for Vertical Slice about how angry I was about the end of that movie.
Okay.
Like that's how passionate I was.
There is a sentiment that I'm trying to live up to of like, yeah, I don't like unhappy endings. But I saw, a lot of people talking about like just because an ending's unhappy doesn't mean it's bad. It might mean it's bad for me. Like that might be like that is typically what I go to a movie for is like kind of a tight beginning, climax, and close, like an ending that is like feels complete and satisfying. And I guess in a way, Infinity Wars is that, but it's just on the opposite end of the emotional spectrum that I want it to be.
It does have like a definitive end, and I have seen like a lot of people be like, it's just gonna be Infinity Wars Part 2, and I'm like, Infinity Wars 1 is totally fine as its own movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't end how you want it to, but that doesn't mean it didn't have an ending.
Yeah. Ego Raptor, Aaron Hansen's kind of perspective is like that movie works so well for him because of like if you flip the protagonist role to Thanos, like he's the hero, right?
Yeah.
So, and I like that. So I'm just trying to be like cool, just be cool for once in my life. It's just their emotions. It's going. Now, we should talk about Kingdom Hearts on the show, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if we wanted to like do. See, here's the thing. If Tony was here, I would have been like, all right, we'll get Kingdom Hearts like the preview reactions out in bonus content. And try and behave ourselves during the show. But Tony's not here. He told us he's not going to make it this week, so fuck it. We're going hog wild. And it's funny because Jarrett in our Slack was like, I bet Tony's not going to make the show this week. Wonder why. And he didn't tell us why, so it really could have been because of Kingdom Hearts 3. Who knows? How's your week been outside of that notion?
Oh, it's been fine. It's just work. I've gotten used to it now as far as like being someone in charge and having people under me and all that other stuff. It definitely is more that like I give more to myself than I should, but it's like, I knew what I signed up for, and that's always been the reason why I kind of like didn't want the position to begin with, because like it's if I'm going to do it, I'm going to have to give my 100%. And like if I give my 100%, that means like my free time is going to be like either like I can't like have like a full day off because like I will feel like I need to go into my job just to see if everything is straight, if everyone's happy, and everything's like cool and everything. So like I don't know. That's the thing I'm dealing with right now. Like like right now I'm dealing with an incident where like my co-workers are complaining about like something another worker has done. So like I had to have a conversation with her tomorrow because like I don't like doing it. I don't like being in situations about stuff like that. But like me working for so long at my job and like I've always noticed that like communication is always like the main issue, and like people not understanding where someone else is coming from or something along those lines. And like what I try to do at least is like get everybody together, like, hey, let's talk this out, like we're all adults here, and I understand like people have issues with one another, but like if we talk to each other and like actually know where everyone's coming from, then maybe we could get to some sort of common ground. And like if like the biggest issue is like someone talking behind your back and then like you don't appreciate that, and like rumors get spread and stuff like that. So it's like, no, let's squash this, like let's get this all done out here in the open. So I don't know.
I got you. I believe in you. Like it's a thing. Like there's a place to draw the line. Like an Extra Life. Like I'm not typically the guy that likes pausing people around, but like I'm ready. I'm comfortable getting in that role. But there's a time where I have to like cut myself off from it. Like there was something was going on where I like looked at George. I'm like, I can't make this decision right now. You can ask me tomorrow, or you can ask someone else. I just can't make this decision right now. I'm done. And to be fair, that was after like being up since 8 a.m. picking 20 people up from the airport or whatever.
Oh, geez.
And like I was going to bed early that night. It was just like that was Friday night when like everybody had arrived, and it was right after Craig had left. And it was like we were winding down, and everyone's like, oh, fucking staying up, hanging out for 2 more hours. I'm like, I'm going to bed. We're gonna be up for 24 hours tomorrow.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, I need to sleep, and it's a good thing I did because I was like great for that whole next day. So, but yeah, I feel that. I like, you know, I think you are capable of doing it, and I think you are capable of doing it well. Just from my experience, you know, say what you will about yourself, but I'm out here believing in you 100%. That's my gig.
You just believe in everyone. I'm starting to feel like.
I believe in the people I care about, Miranda.
Aw.
I know. See how I wrapped that around and made it good? That's my shtick. Trying to think anything else I want to cover in bonus content. My week was fine. Like, you know, I just hung out. Like, there's nothing special about it. I'll say, like, I'm in a weird space. It happens about once a year, I feel, where I'm like, I don't fucking know what I want to sit down and play. It's those things, and we'll get into this when we get into games at some point. But it's those things where those headspaces where I just like I'm bouncing back from thing to thing. I want to get into like a really long RPG because that's it's my jam, but also like I don't want to commit to it for whatever reason. So I don't know. Have you ever gotten? Yes.
Yes, I'm actually doing the same thing right now.
Okay.
It's rough.
Yeah.
I think it's just because like God of War didn't strike a chord with me at all.
Yeah. I'm on
and
a
I was
similar page.
expecting it to,
Yeah,
so I was
you're
so
among friends.
fine, and it just didn't happen.
Great. We're bringing somebody on the show. See, we had Blessing on last week to build God of War up. We got you on this week to bring it back down to our level.
Okay, good.
Yeah, because you're amongst friends, like Namishin said. It is a thing where like, regardless, like I wasn't in love with God of War, but I really liked it. I had a lot of fun with it, and it was very satisfying, right? Like it felt very complete. So like sinking the 30 to 40 hours I put into it, and then finishing it, was like, man, like now I just don't know what I want to do. Like I was so ready to just roll right into Ni no Kuni 2, and I've been trying to kind of pick back up on that since I'm not very far into it, but it's been so hard for me to get into. Yeah, Scott hasn't. I'm also like biding time a little bit to see if we can get Scott in here before we start the show, but he's not here yet. I'll text him and let him know we're starting up. But yeah, I think that's about it for bonus content. Miranda, if you want to get like a glass of water or anything, or use the bathroom, now is the time to do it since you know how this goes. This next part.
This is all of my fears combined.
It's kind of like a buckle up situation. I have to use the bathroom, so
I was not. I forgot until we got super long into bonus content, and I was like, I'm gonna be here.
Yeah.
So fucking long.
I'm so sorry. I should start just reminding people when I ask them to come on the show, like, hey, you want to come back on the show? It's fine. It's going to be a long time like it was last time, I promise.
Well, if you recall, last time I spent half the time not on because my computer was up.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't get the full experience. All right, I'm getting a water.
All right, I'm going to go use the bathroom. I'll be right back.
I need to think of an intro. Ugh. I'll be right back.
For your shifts, Nabashin, do you get scheduled for like? Because I assume you're full time now, where you might not have been before. Do you get scheduled for like 8 hours or for 9 hours? Maybe you're just not here, Nabashin. Maybe I should ask that first. Oh, hey, Scott. Can you hear us? Or can you hear me, I guess?
Right. I'm push talk here.
Oh, yeah, you gotta switch that.
Nah.
Unless you're comfortable just keying it down for a full 55 minutes of game talk that I know you're about to bring.
I do it all the time.
I know. You just play so many video games, Scott. How do you feel about this? This is, I guess, your first time.
I like this.
Yeah. And we got
I
it to
like
work.
this quite a bit.
We
Oh,
got-
and here you can see my Discord avatar.
Yeah. Your dumb, perfect Discord avatar. Yeah, we got it to work really well last week.
You want to know how this one came about?
I imagine it's similar to the last one.
Yep. Tony asked me to change the default Discord avatar.
Perfect. And you did. Guess what, Scott? You fucking showed him.
Uh, all right. Are you ready for a podcast file of mine that doesn't have absurd background noise?
Yeah. Why would this one not?
Because I can adjust my volume finally.
Oh, okay.
Remember how I kept having that beef with Discord? Yeah, I just shut up about it and dealt with it.
Yeah.
Because
Was that a Hangout problem?
that was a Hangout problem.
Really? Okay. Oh, that's right. You
Right.
did.
It was something that you would have to try and change in your registry,
Mhm.
which they ended up taking out midway.
Great.
So I had it working for all of one show, and then they removed it the show afterwards, and it would keep auto adjusting, and because they took the key registry out, you couldn't forge it anymore either because it's not specifically on your computer that it's not set up that way on. Because it's a plugin, it's not set up that way on your computer, so you can't do that. You
Mhm.
can't just force a registry change like that.
That's great.
Yeah, it would basically. Yeah, if I tried, it would basically crash because we would have a registry mismatch with the program.
Well, I'm very excited for you now as well.
Yeah. So what I can do here is instead of being absurdly loud all the time, is I can knock this down.
Yeah, and then when I edit it, it'll catch it back up.
And then I get real close, like I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
And then the volume of my voice is fine, but we don't have a lot of background noise.
Excellent. Excellent. Nabashin, you back?
Yeah, I'm here.
I was asking to the NetherRealm because I didn't know you were off. When you get scheduled for work, do you get scheduled for 8 hours or 9 hours?
I work about 8 hours a day,
Okay.
more or less. Yeah, more or less.
But do you get
Dep-
scheduled for longer?
I mean, I make the schedule for myself. I have to have 40 hours at least
Mm-hmm.
for every week. So like 40 hours is like the minimum and the maximum of hours I should have. So like I'm supposed to have, but like sometimes I go over because like stuff needs to get done. Um, but yeah, it's usually like 8 hours a day every day that I work.
Okay, because I get scheduled for 9 hours and I'm clocked out for an hour. So I was just
Yeah.
curious if it
Okay.
was different for you.
Yeah, like we have 30-minute breaks, but I never take breaks, so it's just one of those things.
Oh man, Nabashin, you gotta take your breaks.
Nah, dude. If I stop, it's always been a thing with me. Like if I stop
You-
working, then like I just don't want to go back to work. So like I just
Do
continue
you-
to work and leave like 30 minutes early usually.
Do
Okay.
you not like have lunch or anything? You just don't eat?
Um,
Or is that what you're
yeah,
supposed to do on your 30-minute break?
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
yeah. I generally don't eat. Like I don't. Yeah, I don't really eat.
You're killing my poor soul.
Like I just, yeah, I'm bad at it. But like,
I
that's
mean,
what
like,
do.
listen, I get it. You live your life, you do you. I worry, you know.
I apologize for my delay. I got talked into moving furniture while I was going.
Heck yeah, a nice little mid-show workout. It gave me time to. I'm trying something on my end. Y'all
Something
don't.
shifting?
Yeah. I'm shifting. I'm just doing a quick thing that might be cool for when we do news. We'll see how it goes.
Ooh, my clicks are super quiet now.
I know.
like it.
I can already tell it's great. Scott was just
New mic,
telling-
Scott?
No, he can actually
Okay.
adjust his volume.
Ooh.
The problem that I was having with Google Hangouts is I have a relatively louder mic.
Right.
So what Google Hangouts would do is that it would bump my volume all the way up no matter what. So I would be loud and my voice would start distorting on the track, so I would sound bad. Or I would have to do. So sorry. So in order to fix that, I would have to be away from the mic. But because the gain was still just too high, all my background noise was clear as day. It was really bad, and that's it's a good chunk of why my podcast file is late most weeks. It's because because everything was so loud, noise reduction would distort the audio
Right.
really badly, so I'd have to do it twice.
Okay.
And me being me, doing it the first time wasn't so bad. Remembering to get it right the second time takes a few days.
Give me 1 second, guys. We'll be ready to go.
So now that we're finally out of that mess, I sound a lot better.
Very exciting times for Irrational Passions right now. Yeah, it went pretty smooth last week. I fucked up how I set it up initially. I set it as like a 1080p stream when I should have just set it as a 720. But
What ended up happening there?
it was just like the frame rate was a little hitchy. It's already been significantly better so far this episode because it's set up correctly. But that was all. Could have been way worse. All right. Okay, that looks good. All right. Everybody ready to start recording?
See.
Rad. All right. I'm going to count down from 5 to 1. And on 1, we will hit record. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Cool. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah.
Surprise!
Whoop.
We did it. Scott did it.
We did it.
We
Well,
did
he
it.
lost.
Let me get this Jujul doc open.
Jujul doc.
It's the technical pronunciation. I don't know if. All right, I'll stop. What day is it? May 18th. Jesus, I gotta get my life together, y'all. Also, real quick, Scott, how was your week?
It's pretty good. Next week's gonna be tough. The week after that's gonna be tougher, and then the week after that, I'm headed to Seattle.
Oh, whoa!
Jeez.
Traveling man, Scott Guthier. It's the last time you
packed so early before you guys.
The
Yeah.
last time I traveled.
Yeah, it was the last time you
Uh,
actually traveled, because you go to Chickateague or whatever. That doesn't count.
Yeah, Higgy doesn't really count. The last time I actually traveled has to be close to 8 years ago. And that was really just to the northern part of Virginia.
So
the part
actually,
that
Indus
borders are.
Fest when we went together.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, yeah, I guess that would be closer.
Fuck.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, we all
That
did
was 6 years ago.
That was 6 years ago. Yeah.
Okay, so 6 years ago then.
Damn. I'm very excited for you now. Even if it ends up being like a boring family thing, whatever. But
No, it's not a boring family thing. I am going with my brother though, but
okay.
Will, for reference.
Yeah. Right. What are you going to the international?
The what?
The international, the Dota internet. It was more of a joke.
No.
The silence made me think
I
that it might have
forget.
been a yes, and I was like, oh fuck.
Honestly, I forgot what that was. That was the thing. I
Yeah.
forgot that they called.
I don't
it
think it's next
international.
month though. So yeah, they call it the international. Happens in Seattle.
No,
not
it's
international.
it's for work.
Okay.
Yeah, before the summer ends, I have to train people how to work.
Oh wow, that I would fucking pay to see that shit. He's got like being like, no, you're doing it wrong. Fuck you. So I remember when you trained me how to play League, so I know how this goes. Let me tell you about League of Legends, Miranda.
Listen,
Junk-
every boy I've ever dated has loved League of Legends. That has
That's
not
a-
engendered my good feelings towards it.
That's a bad that should be your consistent sign of like, boy,
That
this
guy-
boy,
Oh, League of Legends, trash.
garbage man. Listen, there's something about jungling though. Just gets me all riled up.
Oh my god.
I'm super dead.
Something about bush tactics. All right, let's get started. It is Friday, May 18th, 2018, and you are listening to the Irrational Passions podcast. I'm your host, Alex O'Neill, and joining me this week, we have Scott Guthier. All right. Strong start, fellas. Brian Nabashin Jackson.
Maximum effort.
It's very common.
I wanted to interject somewhere in there, but I kind of just died.
It's all right, Scott. You know, you're here. You're out here. And joining us this week, Miranda Pomar, making her triumphant return.
Yes, go plus ultra this time.
Yeah, very plus ultra. Not enough season 3 in my life, but you know, maybe someday
True
I'll
that.
fix that. Are you also on the same boat?
I'm about 4 episodes behind.
Okay, I haven't seen any of season 3, so
Get your shit together, Alex.
okay. Glass house.
Well, we're
and throwing
talking about My
stones over
Hero
here.
Academia, okay?
That's
what are
fine.
you doing?
That's absolutely. I'm here for it.
On a separate note, when I said, did I actually make my intro?
No, you didn't say
No.
anything. We didn't hear anything.
Okay, good, because I'm actually dying right now in terms of internet.
Okay,
It's
great.
cutting in and out, and I can't hear anything.
Oh, that's good. I mean, at least it's a consistent. We switched. Scott's been asking us to switch to Discord recording for 6 years, longer than Discord's been around. As soon as we get there, Scott's internet's just like, I'm out. We good. We had a good round, fam, but we done here. Miranda, welcome back.
I'm glad to be back.
You say that, and I know the hesitancy there because before we started, it was like, hey, just by the way, if you want to use the bathroom, now's the time to do it because strap in. But hey, your computer's working this time, no issues.
Yeah, I didn't accidentally update it right before we got on, and let me tell you, it tried to get me to update.
You're like, I fucking fool me once, all right? you can stay
Exactly.
where you are, out of date computer. No, it's great to have you back. Since you've been gone, if I may.
Ooh.
You've launched a whole new thing. We talked about it briefly, or I guess more extensively in bonus content, but for folks who don't know, how would you introduce them to Vertical Slice?
Vertical Slice is an entertainment news media website.
Okay.
We do a lot of podcasts. We like to talk about movies. We like to talk about video games, of course, pop culture, music kind of stuff. But we put out a lot of content, let's plays, video essays. It's good shit. We talk about anime. That's my favorite one. Therefore, it's the most important one.
Okay. Yeah, it's what, 6 people? 6 cool people? Is that?
Yep.
Do you have a slogan that's just Vertical Slice : 6 cool people?
We should get a slogan, but that should not be it.
No, slogans are overrated. I tried a slogan out once. It was bad. I'm not going to repeat
Didn't
it here.
work out?
No, it was just like somebody at some point was like, "Why is that there?" I was like, "Great point, touche." I don't have an answer for that. So yeah, you guys launched in January. You're on the Twitters. You'll have a new Twitter soon, so I won't say what it currently is now.
I can tell you what it will be.
Okay.
Because it will be at Vertical Slice, MD.
Okay.
And we had a big argument about this for so long.
I didn't know you guys had a medical diploma.
So we're not the only people to use MD as an abbreviation for media.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
But that is why we had a huge argument about it. But I was like, I feel like MD is better than underscore.
Here's the
and
thing.
the guys kept forgetting to say underscore when they were talking about our Twitter handle and their promos.
So we've been saddled with IrrationalPod forever, since the beginning, and I really want to change it. I've never talked about this on the show. I've considered it just dozens of times, but I
had no idea.
The only thing, because Irrational Passions is too long. Please God, if we could do at Irrational Passions, it'd be perfect. It would be great. It's too long.
Right?
So the closest is Irrational Pass, and I'm like, we can't do that.
No.
But like Irrational Pod, it's fine. But I feel like Irrational Passions is so much more than just the podcast, and I feel Irrational Pod gets associated with just the show, for the most part, at least in name. That it's just misleading. It doesn't do quite what we do justice. So
branding is hard.
It's hard. Social media is hard because we're Irrational Passions on Instagram. Like, that's not a fucking problem. IrrationalPassions.com. To be fair, we used to be ippodcast.net, but those days are long behind us.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a deep cut. No one even knows that anymore. Because I don't know. There was something about .nets back in the day. I don't even know. God, I was a 17-year-old kid when I started this.
Not good, Al.
Yeah, I mean, like, I made mistakes.
You learned from them. That's what matters.
Yeah. I'm much better at hashtag brands now. But I don't know, like, I think the Input guys have thought about making an @InputPod Twitter, but, they ended up not going with it as well. So we got a great show lined up for all of you.
Real quick.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, go ahead, Nabishin.
Miranda, we just asked like 3 questions, just like to get like let's like get the juices flowing and like 3 questions to just get people to know you better. First question, everybody gets the same question. The other 2 are just random. But like first question, what's your favorite game of all time?
My favorite game of all time is Mass Effect 2.
Good answer.
Good answer. Yeah, you're in good company.
Second question, what game are you envious of that everyone loves, but like either you just never played or just aren't into?
Last of Us.
Oh, okay. Have you not played it, or are you just not into it?
I saw the beginning of it, and then I saw someone play a little bit of it, and I was like, man, I just don't care.
Yeah, I get you.
I wish I could get the fact, like, every time you see those polls on like Facebook and the Kind of Funny group and everything, that's like, what's the best game of all time? And it's always The Last of Us, and I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they're all wrong. It's not. They didn't put Persona 4, so you can't fix broke people. So.
Persona 4.
And what's your favorite video game romance?
Oh God, I play exclusively games with too many romances. Um,
This is maybe a targeted question, but
I always try to do one targeted question.
yeah.
let's see. So it's probably a Mass Effect romance, and it's probably Shepard and Caden.
Wow. Ooh.
Is
See,
that a spicy take?
No, it's just no one fucking keeps Caden alive. I'm the only other person. Well, you're the only other person I've met that kept Caden alive, and I'm
Caden's the best. Ashley sucks, and Caden's the only person who doesn't have a romantic or fulfilling arc without Shepard. Fun
true.
fact. Everybody else hooks up with someone else. Ashley even gets with Vega if left alone.
That is true.
Caden is literally the only one, and he changes sexualities for you in the third game.
That makes me feel weird knowing that Ashley gets with Vega. I don't know.
Right?
Like, I just like, man.
I don't know if they get married, but at the very least they have a one-night stand.
Hold on.
What,
Caden
yeah?
stays alive in the third game?
Caden? Or
Yeah.
if you saved him in the first game, yeah.
Yeah, same with Ashley.
He was supposed to die before then.
It's him or Ashley will die.
No. I mean, like,
In
due
2?
to his biotic shit.
I mean, like, they implied that he had some fucked up shit going on, but they never outright say it's
They
like
backpedaled
life-threatening.
hard. No. I am 90% sure that they did.
All right.
'Cause, like, from his own mouth, I'm pretty sure he said something that I don't have too on.
To be fair, like, there's like 2 years between the first, well,
Sure,
3
they
years
back
between the
up.
first one and the third. But all right, Nabishan, as our Mass Effect expert, you're gonna have to go through and save Caden now. Sorry, man.
Oh,
How have you not saved Caden? Caden is bae. Oh my god.
I thought he
Cute
was a
little
dead
Canadian
man.
ass.
Listen. I love Caden. I have nothing
Yeah,
against
I thought
Caden.
I just
He needs more love. That's all I'm saying.
You just assumed he was dying, Scott, so you thought you were giving him a mercy death by letting him die on Vermeer.
well, it's like save a dead man and kill the space racist,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or kill them both.
Kill the space racist.
Yeah.
What?
What if I could just like murk Ashley afterwards, just like straight up gun execution style.
Yeah, it was basically kill them both, or don't kill them both.
Yeah,
Ooh.
How I viewed that choice.
I get you.
Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should at least keep one person alive. That's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
So, fun fact, I never played the first game.
Oh wow.
Mm.
I have the DLC that lets you make all the choices from the
Okay.
first game,
Right.
but I've never personally played the game. I think I tried, and it was just a lot of walking around.
That's hard.
And then I lost the game to someone.
Yeah, it's definitely like a bump in that game. Fun fact, Katie just beat that game.
Yeah.
She just did it recently. My friend Katie, Miranda, so you know. And like like it took her a good minute too, because like I was telling her my anxieties as far as like playing that game for the first time, and like of course she went through the same exact things, but like by the end of it, like she picked it up like super well. So I'm super proud of her for beating that game.
Yeah, I saw her Instagram story of her finishing. I was like super stoked. Mostly for you. I was like, man, Nabishan's gonna be so excited when she gets Mass Effect 2.
Yeah.
I also played Mass Effect 2 before I played Mass Effect 1. I did end up going back and playing the first one, and then playing through all 3 of them. But 2 is my first.
Give
Mass
me a
Effect
remastered edition, and I'll play it every day for the rest of my life.
I mean,
Literally.
I
used
will get
to
through
play-
it once.
Yeah.
2 and 3.
I don't know. I feel like you can get through
Finally?
1 once.
I mean, 1 is my favorite,
Mm-hmm.
but that's strictly because it's the most RPG out of the 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
Most people don't like it because I don't know why they thought Mass Effect isn't an RPG.
Yeah, I feel like
Uh,
the big reason is just the inventory stuff, but a lot of people do like Mass Effect 1. Some people have it as their favorite as well. So
The biggest complaint I hear about it is that you walk slowly.
there's a lot of elevators.
There's a lot of shit in that game.
yeah, there's a lot of shit. So it's if you don't think before you go somewhere, you'll have to do a lot of tracing your steps.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have a lot of
Simply
regret.
because it's
Mm.
damn it, I forgot to do this. Damn it, I forgot to do that. Damn it. And then you'll
Oh, it
do a
sounds
lot of
horrible.
if
I'm very forgetful.
if you plan your steps out like you should in an RPG, it cuts down on a lot of the walking time. And you can run.
You can sprint right through it. I'd be curious. A Mass Effect 1 Let's Play on Vertical Slice coming soon.
Do it.
I don't even think I have a system that can play Mass Effect 1.
Get an Xbox One. They can play Mass Effect 1.
No, I have a PlayStation. I don't need an Xbox.
PC.
You know? Yeah, you can get a
If
PC.
Scalebound was going to come out, maybe I would have gotten an Xbox.
All right. We're really reopening some wounds tonight. Well, it's great to have you back, Miranda. It's been like a year plus since you were on.
It's not a year plus for
Okay.
sure,
Okay.
but it has been a while.
It feels like a while. Now, I don't normally do like, hey, here's our current guest promotion, here's our last guest promotion, but some things did happen over this last week.
Okay.
Last week we had a good friend of the show, Blessing Adeoye, on, and those fine folks over at OK Beast launched a Patreon on Monday. Blessing was like very secretive about it. He's like, yeah, we're doing something. We're doing a thing for our anniversary on Monday. Just check it out. And ends up that thing was them launching their Patreon, which, depending on who you asked, was a long time coming. Specifically, if you asked me, I would have said
It was definitely a long time coming.
it's about goddamn time. They've been doing their whole video a week thing and for a long time, since August, I think, is what they said on their first episode of their Patreon exclusive show, Stir Fry. So yeah, they talked about how like it's a big change for them. They're very excited. They did very well. But if you'd like to go support them, if you liked last week's show, if you want to go support OK Beast, since Blessing is not here this week to promote it, I just want to throw it out there since we had such a great time with him last week for a nearly 4-hour-long podcast. Sorry, Miranda, just digging that knife in deeper. You can support them at okbeast.com or okbeast.com, links to it, but patreon.com/okbeast is their Patreon link. So they have a $1, $3, and $8 tier. So it's not like a lot of like big, huge tiers or low commitment or big commitment things. So it's pretty cool. So go check it out. Let's do some housekeeping real quick, if that's okay with you, Miranda. I want to make sure
It is indeed.
we got some approval. This week on IrrationalPatch.com, tons of very cool things posted, much like it seems almost every week on IrrationalPatch.com. So we had a new rendition of Professor RPG go up, which is Scott White's series where he kind of breaks down mechanics or systems or things that you might need to get into an RPG. He did it a couple months ago for the launch of Alliance Alive, is the new Atlas 3DS RPG. This week, he did it for the launch of Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey Redux, which also came out on 3DS this week. So go check that out. It's very extensive, very good at like introducing you to what is Shin Megami Tensei, which is a very, very weird, very cool Japanese RPG series. What are the mechanics? How does it work? Like that. Those games are focused a lot around negotiation with demons. It's kind of where the negotiation mechanic that's present in Persona 5 originally came from, as Persona is a spin-off series from the Shin Megami Tensei series. So it's very cool. Scott's a huge fan of those. Scott White, I should say, is a huge fan of those RPGs. So it was cool to finally be able to cover something as intense and hardcore as Shin Megami Tensei. Also, Mike Burgess wrote a review and did a video review of Omen Sight, which is the new game from Spearhead Games. They did what was their last game called? It'll kill me if I can't think of this. It was that free PlayStation Stories. That's what I got there.
Oh, that game was the ish.
Yeah, it was a very cool game. And what's cool is Omen Sight seems to be like a good evolution of some of the concepts of stories, right? So it's like multiple timelines, there's time travel. It is kind of playing through the same story multiple times to accrue different pieces of information so as to stop the apocalypse. So there's a video review and a written review, or like a transcript of that review, up on the website and YouTube. And then Jarrett wrote a review for a very cool indie game that just came out on, I think, Switch, PS4, and Xbox, called Wizard of Legend, which, like, I feel like you just need to see one GIF of Wizard of Legend, and you're like, man, I want to know what the fuck this is all about. It's very, like, action, hardcore, beat 'em up, but it's like a 2D dungeon crawler, like a top-down dungeon crawler perspective. So it looks very cool, and Jarrett liked it. So you should go check that out. So that's pretty much everything that went up this last week. Like I said last week, someday I might write a review for God of War. I have a draft written of it that it got some contentious opinions from the Irrational Passions writing team. Some folks did not like how it was written, so we'll see. It is in a work in progress. But let's just say I had some maybe heated things to say about previous God of War games to set up my opinion about the current God of War games, and it was not well received. But, you know, we'll see how that ultimately comes together. But that's it on IP for now. We got a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. So there will be a Shin Megami Tensei review proper coming soon, probably next week, or this coming week, or this week if you're listening to the audio version of the show, and more things of that ilk. So, let's talk about video games. I like video games. Miranda, do you play video games?
You know, I hate video games. No,
oh
yes,
my god!
Why am I even here?
So, tell me what you've been playing.
So, I tried to play God of War.
Sure.
I made a solid effort.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably like 6-8 hours in. So first off, so incredibly bad at the combat, I had to turn it down to the easiest mode.
Hell yeah.
Which has not
Okay.
happened to me in a very long time.
Okay.
But it was rough. Like, I was getting wrecked. And then I'm in the mountain doing the thing, and I just don't care. Like, literally the only thing that's, like, got me going is I'm like, I just want to figure out what's at the top of the mountain, because it's gonna be some shit. Like, but after that, I'm just like, I don't care at all about this game, and I hate Angry Dad and Sad Boy.
Shout out to Sad Boy, though. I feel for Sad Boy, all the Sad Boys out there. Pour one out. No, I get that.
Sad Boys are bad.
What is your relationship with God of War as a franchise?
So actually, the original God of Wars I thought were like really solid, good, trashy fun.
Okay.
They're not to be like praised or appreciated, but I had fun when I played them. Like, I thought the combat was enjoyable.
Okay.
But I don't remember very much about them. I don't hold them dear to my heart or anything.
Okay. Fair enough. Did you play God of War Ascension?
No.
All right, no one did, so just kind of reconfirming that. I only know like one person that played God of War Ascension. I think it's Dan Reichert. So, all right. I mean, like, I understand. I feel like my thing about the combat, because I occasionally have a lot of trouble with it, is like it's the first time in a while where I felt like, man, I could see. I can feel why this doesn't mesh with some people. Most people I've talked to, it's really clicked with them. I like it a lot, but it took me a long time. There's just parts about it that are very hard for me to get used to every time like I'm away from it. Specifically the like indicators of people that are on your flanks. Like there's like one indicator for an attack you can't block. There's an indicator for a ranged attack, and there's an indicator for an enemy approaching, right? And it's just like, it's just 3 different color indicators, and it's still difficult for me to wrap my head around, even though I've played like 40 hours of that game. And it's like, I never use the quick turn because it doesn't feel good to me.
Yeah,
same.
I never use it either. It feels super disorienting.
Like, there's a quick turn in The Last of Us, and it's the same thing of like, I'd really rather just turn around. Like, something
His
where
like turnaround speed is so slow
Yeah.
too, and I'm just like, just raise that and get rid of the quick turn, please.
the only game where like quick turn makes or made sense for me, and I still don't love it, is like Resident Evil.
Yep.
RE4, it was fine, but like when I went and played a little bit of Resident Evil 1, it's like, well, the way this game plays, like I understand why quick turn is a requirement, right? Because you fucking turn like at the slowest speed humanly possible. You're like, Jill, what are you doing? But it's just like, I don't know. It's weird to me that quick turn is in God of War, but maybe I'm crazy. But yeah, I get that. What could Dad of Boy make you? What could Kratos, Big Boy Daddy Kratos, make you do, or do for you that would make you care about it?
I don't know. He's just a douche.
Mhm.
Like, and it's so like I get that there's like a reason and whatnot, but like, boy, howdy, I don't care. You don't have to be a shitty dad. Like, I don't know. It just drives me nuts. His big, I'm burly and you don't understand how I have feelings. Like, explain it. Like, I don't know. I hate stuff like that.
That's fair. I think there is merits to witnessing a bad relationship, in that like it informs a lot to you, or like at least me, what makes a good relationship strong. I ultimately really liked Kratos in that game because of kind of like the arc he goes through, but like, boy, I never liked Atreus. Like at any point,
Really?
like I never liked Atreus at all.
Oh, I've liked him a lot thus far.
He's a little. There are a lot
He's
of
a little
things.
annoying.
He's definitely a little annoying. Like it's honestly that stuff. He goes through like an arc about mid game that really frustrated me, but there's a lot of like yes sirs and not a lot of like, well, why? Like and they try and dig into like the why of the back and forth of that relationship, but I feel like they failed every time they did it. And I don't know, he just like felt so emotionless. Like I felt like Atreus had no personality, which is a
He
bummer.
seems so sassy and like,
I mean, like,
to me. I'm so intrigued.
he has like two notes. I feel like that he fluctuates back between.
Okay.
And when you see them try and do stuff with him, I was just like, I don't think this is working. Like I feel like this isn't working.
Okay.
Especially with kind of how it all ends up. I just didn't think it worked at all. But again, it's just a lot of him going like, okay, yes, all right, I'll do this.
Sure.
And to be fair, I guess like if Kratos told me to do something, I'd just probably fucking do it. Like, I just don't want to deal with whatever happens if I don't do it. So I get that to some extent. Do you think you're gonna try and keep with it, or?
So instead of doing that, I just started playing Persona 5 again.
Hell yeah, because I started doing this again recently. So
I had stopped off somewhere like immediately after the second palace
okay.
because I got too much anxiety.
Okay.
Like I was like, the world is my oyster and it's too much.
And it's a big oyster, and I hate this.
Like I was like, I don't know what to do. What stats should I increase? I need to put so much thought into this, and then I was just paralyzed, so I stopped playing it.
I feel like I've heard that about Persona 5 way more than any other Persona game. And I get that. Like it's intimidating. The thing I always tell people, and I know it doesn't help, but is like just do what you want, you know? Like hang out with who you would want to hang out with.
And I think Ian Preschnell gave me that same advice. He was like, don't look up any guides, or like he said either do what you want or just follow a guide. Like, but don't freak out about it. And I was like, I can't.
Yeah.
Because I never had the feeling with Persona 4 that I was going to mess something up. But
Which
with this
is
game,
ironic.
I'm like, I'm going to ruin everything.
Yeah, like you could totally mess some things up in Persona 4 too.
I know, but I never felt that way, and I never did. So I was like, but now I'm going to ruin this little schoolboy's life.
Yeah, where are you gonna mess up? Is it,
I don't know.
Mishima's out there like getting real anxious with his fucking website, and you're like, I don't know how I feel about this kid.
Poor Mishima. I don't know. Like, I'm not going to progress my relations far enough or whatever. Because I'm like 30 hours in and like I haven't progressed any of them basically at all.
Okay.
So Whew, I'm just stressed. Thinking about it's making me stressed out.
Yeah, that's there is definitely like an ilk of people that I see like get super anxious about that, which is a bummer because I feel like Persona is like just trying to be like, have a good time, man. Just hang out. Just do whatever you want. Like, don't worry about it.
I am working on that. Like, I am like just trying to play and be chill and like grind when I feel like it, because that was a big problem for me in Persona 4 is I never did the grind and then I got screwed. But I'm feeling better.
That's good. I like the nice thing about Persona is that, or at least in my opinion, preface, is I think it's hard to actually fuck up because everything you do, you are building yourself up in one way or another, right? Like, even if, like, you would have to go out of your way to not do something rather than do something, right? Like, if you, let's say you spent your evening doing the laundry, right, which is a thing that doesn't improve any stats, but it can get you really rare items. Or let's say you were like, oh, I just found the maid cafe, which is a thing. I don't know if you've seen that at all yet.
I have not.
But it's like
I'm excited.
Yeah, exactly. I've never actually been to the maid cafe in that game, so I don't know what happens there. But it's like, oh, I just want to know what the fuck this is all about. Well, my charm went up as a result, so I got 1 or 2 stat points. Like, there are things that can get maybe 2 stat points or 3 stat points depending on the day, instead of just 1. But ultimately, that stuff is not going, unless you're going for a perfect run, is not going to like cripple your playthrough.
All I know is when it's raining, you go study and you eat a steak or you drink some coffee.
Get some nostalgic steak. And like you're always progressing, right? Time is always moving forward, but you're always getting better no matter what ancillary choice you're doing. Whether you decided to read that day or get a nostalgic steak that day or take on the burger challenge or whatever, you are getting better. And that will help you in the long run. And honestly, like of the things you need to do or get done, the social links are like the shortest things, weirdly enough. Because
the pacing is like confusing to me, I think. And that's part of like, I feel like I should be further, but I like haven't really been getting these options to take anything further.
Yeah.
So it leaves me in this place where I'm like, am I missing these opportunities? And I have the little like Thieves Guild link just so I can be like, what did everyone else do today?
Yeah.
Is there someone I can hang out with?
Yeah, and that's something really cool. That actually helped me a lot. But there are a lot more gates in social links in that game than there are in I guess like they did it a lot in Persona 3, but they didn't in Persona 4, where it's like, all right, I need to get to point 6 with Ryuji's, but I need to get my guts up to 3. So I guess like I just can't do this quite yet. There's a lot more stuff like that in Persona 5 than there was in 4. So I would say like there will just be a point where it's a better idea to work on stats and skills. To take a leaf out of Nobishin's book, something he would recommend, and I would also recommend, the maid lady. I don't know if you've met her yet.
I have. We're at like 4, I think, social link wise.
If you get that to max, it will grant you more time. So you'll have more time to do things.
Cool.
So
I'll quit ignoring her.
Yes, I mean, I like Kawakami. She's cool.
No, I like her a lot too. I just like other people better, like Hot Doctor, and Best Girl Makoto.
Okay. Is that who you're crushing on, those two right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Though I haven't met Hacker Girl yet, and I always love Hacker Girls, so we'll see.
We shall, indeed. I'm not going to say anything. There's no point. Futaba speaks for herself, okay? Cool. What else have you been playing?
Back to the Overwatch grind. Hadn't been playing for a hot minute, and then, because like, that's all we used to do, right? The people I started Vertical Slice with, we just played Overwatch. Our friendship grew on the fact that for 3 months we played Overwatch together every single day.
Wow.
For like 3 hours at least. Jesus. Every single day.
That sounds great. I wish I had cool friends like that.
Like I don't even know how we managed it. We're all so busy now, and I'm like, not much has changed, but none of us can do this anymore.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm really excited. I'm getting good with Mercy again because I was doing really bad with her for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Although, like being in Mercy main is kind of like just stabbing yourself all the time
Yeah. You
because
gotta
it's all pain.
carry that wound with you wherever you go. As a fellow Mercy
But
man, I understand.
I am very excited about this pink Mercy skin for the breast cancer.
Just
It
got
is the
paid today.
cutest thing I've ever
I gotta
seen.
get that.
I need to get mine too. And then I'm gonna buy the shirt too because the shirt's really cute.
Oh, I haven't seen the shirt at all.
You gotta look it up. It's very anime.
Okay. I will look that up. How do you feel about Brigitte or Brigitte, depending on who you ask?
Fighting against her makes me want to murder someone.
I'm gonna
And
just
it's
search.
the same old nobody's protecting your healer, so I just die all the time.
I too have gotten very into Overwatch this week. Let me see. Ooh, this is a very cute shirt.
Right?
Oh my god, that's adorable. Shit. It's $30. Damn it, that's too much, but
As long as it's there for like a while.
yeah,
As long
if
as they're
it's
not
still
taking
there
it down on the 21st, I will buy it in a little bit.
if it's still there in a couple weeks. But I've gotten back into Overwatch, getting back into competitive.
Oh shit.
I like playing competitive, not because I'm a competitive by nature, just because I like longer matches, just in general.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, and I feel like it's weird for me now because originally competitive was the only one where there were no repeat characters, right? Which I know it hasn't been that way for a very long time, but it's just like that was how it was for me when I went back to quick play. I was like, oh shit, I forgot about this. They changed this to the way it is in competitive. So, but that's just generally why I play that. But I've been getting way into Brigitte, and I love her. She's great. I finally like gotten pretty great with her. I shouldn't say great. I should say like mediocre at best.
Decent.
The best thing about Brigitte, in my experience, is that like when you get somebody with her, like corner someone, they don't know what the fuck to do. Like
I feel that intensely.
because like you have the big thing with her is she has a shield bash that stuns someone, right? So that like keeps them in place, but also like will knock them out of a move if they're doing it. So like you can take people out of their ults pretty quickly. And it's just like, well, what the fuck do I do if I'm alone? Like if you're a 300 or less health hero and you're by yourself, and when she hits you, she heals herself. It's like, well, fuck. Like, what do I do?
What am I even doing?
Pretty much one-on-one, it is very hard. If you're pretty good with her, like it's very hard to not win any duel with her.
You think she's gonna get nerfed?
I absolutely. It has to be coming because I would say
You
like
like her?
yeah, because I like her. Every character I like. Although like I don't give a shit about Hanzo and they changed him.
But they changed him in a good way, so
I guess because I've been getting killed by Hanzo a lot more lately. So
that little rapid fire AK-47 arrow thing he's got going on now is
yeah, because I've not used him since the change, but it's killed me a lot. So I don't know. It's just like I think an easy way to make her less dangerous is by increasing the cooldown on her shield bash, on her stun attack, which I feel like is going to happen for sure because it's like 4 seconds right now. It's way
Oh
too
my
short.
god, what?
Yeah, it's four.
Listen,
it's between
my
4 and
res
6
is
seconds.
30 seconds.
Yeah,
She does not deserve 4-second cooldown.
yeah. Like alternatively, they could up other character, like lower other characters' cooldowns to kind of help accommodate with that. But right now, it's like Doomfist might be pretty good against her. If his shield, because his like charge fist will go through Reinhardt's shield, so by the transitive property, it'll go through Brigitte's as well. So he might be a good counter pick for her, but no one plays Doomfist, at least not on PS4, it seems.
Not in competitive.
Not in competitive, I guess. Which is a bummer because I feel like, man, I was so excited about Doomfist when they first showed him because he's such an interesting character. But the big thing about Brigitte is that like her biggest counter is herself, because her flail will go through her shield.
Oh.
So she is consistently the best character against herself, which is super weird. But there's just a lot. I've been in a lot of Brigitte on Brigitte duels, and it's like it's a coin flip at that point, which is cool. Which there is a counter for her out there. It's just weird that it's also her. But yeah, I don't know. Like have you tried playing her at all, Miranda?
No, I play like the same 4 characters, man.
Okay, I would
I'm
give
not
it a
playing.
shot. But
I'll consider it.
So the weird part about this conversation
Yeah.
is having played quite a bit of competitive games.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like a classic example of an overpowered character.
Yeah.
It is.
She feels pretty overpowered right now. But she's new, right? She's like
New
not even a
characters
month
are
old.
Always OP when they come out.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of time before they kind of bring her back down. But I'm curious to see
chunk of the time the innovators figure out how to play them correctly before people figure out how to counter it. So they have new character advantage in that sense.
Usually with Overwatch, you can feel a nerf coming on a new character within the first month. That's usually when you're going to see that nerf.
I feel
when
like
they figure out that something is broken.
I feel like Orisa never got nerfed.
I feel like Orisa doesn't need to be nerfed.
No, she does. I feel like she was a good.
Never once has she felt OP. Her shield cooldown is a little.
It's a little quick, yeah.
A little good, but beyond that, she's never been so hard to beat.
Because they made her shield bigger. Was the big thing. So they technically buffed her. Yeah, I don't know. Like Brigitte feels a little overpowered right now. I'm just fucking living in it.
Living the dream.
Yeah, I don't know. Like as someone who likes to play Mercy, I feel Brigitte is fun because she's such a mishmash of 3 different play styles. Like she's a little Reinhardt, she's a little Genji, I guess would be the closest melee. I guess his primary attack is a projectile though. I'm trying to think I guess Reinhardt would be the other kind of melee primary attack character. She's a little Reinhardt, but she's a little I guess there's no other area of effect healer. She reminds me, I guess,
Lucio?
a little Lucio. So because when she has an attack, when she attacks, right, it activates her passive. I think for 5 seconds, and that's an area of effect around her that heals. And it's any hit she connects with her flail. So she's got her flail that she tosses out, which is a little bit longer range and pushes people back. If she hits with that, she'll get that cooldown or the passive's active. And if she hits with a normal melee attack, she starts healing too. But there's a slight ramp up for activation for that, and then it slowly ramps down too. So it's the way she's built is really cool, and she's just unlike any other character. And she's just a really cool character. I think she just looks really cool, and she when she's talks,
very pretty.
Yeah, she's very pretty. When she talks, she just sounds cool. Because I was in a game and she was like, "Hey Genji, you want to spar a little bit later?" And he's like, "Yeah, let's do it." I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" The fanfic in me is going crazy. But I think she's just rad. And I like playing a healing character. It's just cool because since she's AoE healing, but is very aggressive, unlike Lucio, being on the payload, being on the point, things like that. Especially having her in any King of the Hill match is so great because you're always fighting on that point, so she's always out there fucking fools up. And I'm just here for it. But yeah, I also played a lot of Overwatch this week. So I feel
I can tell.
Who are your other 3 characters?
So Mercy, if I'm doing bad at Mercy, I play Zenyatta.
Okay.
And then I'll play Junkrat. And then I can't even remember the other one. I play them so little.
Hanzo, for sure. Hanzo main for life.
Nothing that requires skill. I did try Moira for a while because I was like, it'd be good to be good at her, but I'm just trash at Moira, so.
Yeah, I don't know. Moira's cool. I've fallen out of love with Moira. I just feel like she's too squishy, I guess. But I don't know. What do I know?
She has to be up front and she's too squishy for her abilities.
Yeah.
I think.
But she's very cool. It's just like I wish she had a way of healing herself that wasn't like she didn't have to be attacking enemies to do that.
Yeah.
If she had like an auto heal, kind of like Mercy did, then I feel like I'd like her more. But what do I know? Have you been playing anything else?
Nope, that's pretty much it. I mean, I played Dynasty Warriors every day, 3 hours a day.
Yeah.
That's the day it came out. For a hot minute. I just love it so much.
Now, you as the only person in the world that liked Dynasty Warriors 9, how does that
for
feel?
It feels good, and I love that game so much.
Like, no tea, no shade, no lemonade. Like, I was just happy for you that game existed for you. Like, it was one of those that it was just like, man, like I'm so glad someone fucking loves Dynasty Warriors as much as Miranda does.
I mean, here's the thing: is people love Dynasty Warriors because they keep making them. Like,
True.
they would have stopped, and they're gonna make another one because they really laid like. This game is janky in the same way that every Dynasty Warriors game is a little janky, but they set some like really good ground for making themselves an open world RPG game.
Okay.
Like they gave you these like they did a thing that I don't see in a lot of games that are like real RPGs where side missions that you didn't have to do at all had like big effects on the main mission you were doing. And that was like shown to you. Like, oh, you captured this base, now these enemy officers and reinforcements aren't going to make it to the main battle. Or these people are now going to come and join your side because you did this thing. Or you went out on the sea and you shut them down, so now they can't come or help. And their morale is lower, so they have less troops.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everything does something. And then the story's just cool. I mean, it's literally about real things that happened in China. Like... I'm very passionate about this game.
Are there giant enemy crabs
if I keep
in this
talking,
game?
I'm never gonna stop. Are there what?
Are there giant enemy crabs in this game?
Dude, that would be cool, but no.
Okay, I was gonna say if giant enemy crabs really did happen in the past, then I got some updates for E3 press conference.
There's it's funny because like killing enemies in that game not that hard because like that's the point. I mean, officers obviously are hard to kill. Animals will fuck you up 100% of the time.
That's great.
Like you so much as walk past like a tiger or a wolf and you're done. Like,
man,
it's horrifying in the beginning of the game when you're at lower levels because you're like, I gotta sneak past these guys because if they catch me, I'm a goner.
Finally,
And there are a lot of them.
Man's greatest folly: wolves.
Oh my god! Most important part: best horse controls of 2018.
Really?
Yes, you can pick a spot on your map and then you just hit auto run and it will just take you there. And it won't fight you and they turn on a dime and they're super easy. Like, it's so good. Auto run is my favorite feature in the world.
Hopefully Red Dead Redemption 2 is taking notes.
Hopefully. I mean, I'm telling you, in the end, Dynasty Warriors 7 gonna win. I mean 9 gonna win.
Whichever one.
Best horse controls.
They bleed together. All right, well,
That's the only award Vertical Slice is giving out this year.
Best horse controls.
Best horse controls.
Oh, now I'm excited for your guys' game of the year content. That's gonna be fun. How many fights can you all get in about horse controls?
Honestly, you would be surprised.
You know, with how fucking bullshit our awards go down, sometimes I wouldn't be. What is your favorite non-Dynasty Warriors game?
Fun fact, I hate all of them.
Oh, great. What's your favorite of the hate, then?
I guess one of the Mobile Suit Gundam ones, because I love Gundam more than most things, so I like kind of have to like tip my hat at it, even though it's literally terrible.
It is.
Yeah.
Like, it was so disappointing when it came out. I was like, this is literally not even Dynasty Warriors anymore. You're just moving me along like a grid.
The Fire Emblem Warriors didn't do anything for you?
I never got the chance to play it. Though I'm playing Fire Emblem. Fate. Which one? Birthright. Playing Birthright.
Okay. Birthright, Conquest, and one fucking Phalanx. Revelations. What? Some anime name. I should finish that game someday. All right, cool. Scott, video games. Fill me with video games. Or not. I said to Scott before we started recording. I'm like, please turn off push to talk. And he insisted on keeping it on.
Yep.
Scott, fill me with video games.
All right. Guess what I got back into playing?
Uh,
I got some Ni no Kuni 2 in.
finally, some good news. I also played a little bit of Ni no Kuni 2.
I got way into it.
Okay, cool. Where are you at in it?
Fourth city.
Okay, yeah, you're way past me. What do you think of it now that you've put some time into it?
I like it quite a bit more.
Okay.
But I can now fully describe the problems
Okay.
as well.
What's your beef?
So first and foremost, it's the character action scenes. You know, the combat in the game.
Mm-hmm.
How that works. It has the same general issue as The Witcher does.
Okay.
Your attacks will slightly differ depending on how far away you are from an enemy if you have it locked on.
Okay.
It is much less to an extent, and you are locked in your animations for quite a bit longer than you were in The Witcher as well.
Okay.
The good news, though, is that this time around it's very minimal, and you'll just start performing your regular attacks if that the special close-in attack, which is it's just a small variation of your regular combo. Yeah, if you're out of range.
Okay.
So instead of barreling into an enemy attack, you can get them to whiff as you start smacking them.
How do you feel about it being like kind of just actiony instead of what it was before?
It's not the best of the action RPGs out there. It's honestly pretty run of the mill, which it kind of hurts it.
I think like
Because you compare it to a game like Kingdom Hearts, and it's like no, not even close.
Yeah, I think it's like it's fun,
So
but
it's fun, but there's not a whole lot of depth to it.
Mm-hmm.
And because there's not a whole lot of depth to it, it's easy.
Yeah, it's very
or
easy.
impossible.
Yeah, or there's no middle ground. It's like, or this enemy is way too strong.
And the reason there's no middle ground is because you don't actually do damage to people a certain level higher. You go from doing 100 to 200 per hit to 5 to 10 a hit,
Yeah.
and you get one shot.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of Assassin's Creed Origins, which was the first time they kind of like went full RPG with Assassin's Creed. And I talked about this when I played that forever ago, but it was like a thing where like, oh, I want to go off and explore this part of the map because, you know, it's Assassin's Creed, and I played Zelda that year, so I was ruined on every open world map. And it was like I saw a guy, I was like level 20, and I saw guys like level 33, and he just like one-shotted me because like there was a level difference, so you're done. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of that.
Yeah, and I'm assuming your level affected just about every stat in the game, including how well you could guard.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, so they break right through your guard and they one-shot you.
Yeah.
It's the same thing here, because blocking doesn't reduce all damage. They will two-shot you through your block.
Yeah.
Which will happen immediately.
Yeah.
Or it's just easy. And
Yeah,
it's just that way because it's simple.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're not getting 1 to 2 shot, 1 to 2 hits is all you're really taking.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about like, you know, just look and feel of it just in general?
In general, the look and feel of it's good.
Yeah.
Studio Ghibli, they do very well with their style.
Yeah, I was saying like when I was playing it this week, just putting a little bit more time into it, I put a couple more hours into it. I'm at like the casino city, for reference, Scott.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, because it is really the first time I was sitting down and looking at it in 4K and HDR. I'm just like, fuck, man, just like the style of this game really goes a long way with how pretty it looks.
Mhm.
I'm sure it looks great on PC too. So
I'm enjoying the kingdom mode.
the kingdom building stuff.
Yeah, because it's some games have tried to do something similar before, namely Bravely Default,
Mm-hmm.
and generally it's not so great in these types of games because it encourages you to take the game at their pace. Uh, yeah, it encourages you to take the game at their pace instead of at yours. It just ends up becoming jarring if you because you can end up being extremely strong for areas or extremely weak for areas, and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be tedious at times to try and keep up with it. Or sometimes that you hop in and that's all you do.
From what I've heard, like, because you're probably pretty early on in it, just judging off what you're saying. I hear it's like simplified because there's like you can't customize where you put things. You can't make your kingdom unique, I guess. And like, oh, this mine's arranged like this. It's just like this goes here, this goes there.
Okay.
But it sounds cool. Like I still haven't seen any of that yet. I'm like, God damn it.
You haven't? You should. If you got into the casino city, you should have it.
I just like I have my kingdom, but they're like, we need wood, and then I went to the woods, and the guy's like, this guy owns all my wood, y'all. And so I'm like,
right.
And now I've gone to
You
where
do
this
get it
guy is.
afterwards.
Yeah.
You do get it afterwards. There's a partial secondary quest to it.
Yeah, I'm
In
sure.
that area, but you're still in the first part because you just got there. All right.
Yeah, I just like walked in, saved it. I'll come
So
back to it.
basically, you get things a lot faster than you normally would this type of situation, and
Okay.
that's because it doesn't work while you're not playing the game.
Yeah.
So you can expect in a normal playthrough that you'll like games around like 30 hours.
Mm-hmm.
You can expect so long as you check in after every chapter, you'll get just about the whole way through the whole thing.
Cool. That's what I've heard,
And-
which I'm down with.
And if you check in every couple of side quests or so, not only will it help you do the side quests, but you'll also complete it much quicker.
Cool.
But yeah, if you really only check into it just after doing the story, then you'll still be fine.
Okay.
It
That sounds
goes
good.
very quickly.
Anything else you want to say about Ni no Kuni 2?
Yeah, because you just kind of kept bombarding me with questions instead of letting me tell you exactly where I'm at.
I mean, like that's my thing as host. Like I set you up for success. What do you got? What do you want to say?
Let's see. So where we left off, I just had gotten to the Heartlands, correct? Roughly around there.
Yeah, you had done the combat, like the open world combat thing.
Yeah, the open world war stuff.
Yeah. And that was the
Yeah,
last
so
thing you'd done.
Yeah, that's the last time I talked, and I went all from that all the way through Gold Paul, Hydropolis, and now I'm starting Broadleaf.
Okay. Broadleaf?
Chicken.
Okay.
Now. So through all that, I believe I shared the sentiment with Tony that I didn't like Evan.
Yeah, I think you'd mentioned it.
Yeah, he's grown on me now, but he is also just better now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like Hope where it's he's where it's you kind of don't like him in the beginning, but then there's a chance that he redeems himself and it just gets worse.
Fair enough.
No, they essentially do his arc properly, but because they do that weird thing in the beginning where Roland is kind of the main character until you realize no, he's not.
Yeah.
Uh, it takes you a while to essentially get used to Evan being the main character. So that didn't really happen until after, I'd say, in the middle of Hydropolis that happened.
Okay. I'm curious to see that. Because I definitely know what
Um,
you're feeling or you're talking about.
hmm And I still kind of play as if Roland's just the main character.
Sure. Do you just play Roland?
I just play Roland. He's just, out of all the characters I have, he's just the best fighter.
Yeah, he's fun.
There's no point in switching.
He's got a gun. Like, he just shoots dudes. Like, what do you want?
But yeah, and I think the funny part about it is you can carry on the game just fine for quite a while pretending Roland's the main character.
Okay.
And by the time where it's too painfully obvious to you that he's definitely not, Evan's not so bad.
Okay. It's good to hear he gets better. Anything else? Did you die?
Let's see. I guess to expand on that, the reason I'm guessing you and Tony don't like him is the same
think he's
reason I don't
fine.
like him. Because he starts out both naive and confused.
Mm-hmm. Very confused.
Very confused, and not in the terms of, hey, I don't understand what's going on, but the type of confused is where it's, hello, sir, are you sure we're on the same page here? Type of
Yes.
confused.
Yeah.
So he still has a bit of the naivety to him, but that's not such a bad thing. The confusion is mostly gone though.
Okay, good.
And what isn't Roland is more quick to stop out.
Yeah. Is he more like, man, these rats took my castle. I'm gonna fucking kill them.
No,
Okay. I wish.
no. I'll just give you the spoilers. Is that that's abandoned. He's
Okay.
got bigger problems now.
Okay,
The
good.
Kingdom's better anyway.
Yeah. Is that right? Make your own thing.
Yeah.
I want to know because like he's supposed to be the son of the Cat King from the first Ni no Kuni. I want to know like who the Cat King had relations with to have Evan. Like that's what I want to know.
I think. Hold on. I think
Princess
it's
Peach.
way further in the future than that.
It might be. I don't know. I read something saying that that's what had happened. I feel like it has to be like way further in the future.
It's way further in the future because in the other game, Hydropolis isn't a city yet,
Mm-hmm.
and
It's a big
you'll
city.
you'll see why.
Okay.
No. I've given you enough spoilers as it is.
Okay. Yeah, I'm excited to see that stuff.
But I'd say so far, the sad part about it all is the story's very weak,
Mm-hmm.
simply because Evan's a pretty weak main character.
Okay.
He grows on you, but he's still a pretty weak main character.
Yeah. There's still time for it to really come together though. So.
There, where I am, I'm halfway through the game, so I guess still, but everyone else is pretty interesting.
Okay.
It's a game kind of full of weak. It's a game full of decent storytelling, decent to good storytelling. That's hampered by the characters.
Okay.
Roland's a boss, but that's kind of it.
Yeah, Roland's cool. Just want to hang out with Roland, really. Cool. I'm excited for you to finish it. Anything else you've been playing?
No, when I had time for games, I just picked up that.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you're finally playing it. I will try and step my game up and continue it as well. Did play a little bit of it this week. Nabashin.
Yeah.
Video games.
Nothing really new. At least not necessarily. Beat Red Dead Redemption this week again.
Is it a good video game?
That is a good fucking video game. It's really good.
Okay.
So I haven't beaten it since like I first beat it in like I think it was 2010, whatever year Mass Effect 2 came
2010
out.
sounds right. Whatever year,
Either 2010 or 2009.
whatever
One of those.
day Alan Wake came out.
Yes.
It's 2010. Yeah.
Yeah. Because like playing through it again, like of course I was like just liking loving it, but like you can see like a lot of old last gen game design where it's like there's like turret sections in the game, and it's like I was like, oh yeah, turret sections used to be a thing in like the PS3 and 360 generation, where
Yeah,
it's
it
like
totally did.
you to get on the grappling gun and just mow down dudes, and like there's like a couple of sections of that in Red Dead Redemption.
It's funny because like I'm thinking about like there's like a turret section of the television show Westworld where that happens. I'm like, man, weird connection there, but yeah, I don't know what fucking whoever thought turret sections were good. Man, Gears of War had like 20 turret sections throughout that
Yeah,
whole
it did.
franchise. So
I mean, but I get it though. It's like it's supposed to be like the like oh shit moment where it's like really cool and like you're just mowing down a whole bunch of dudes and that's supposed to be cool. But like, um, like I guess we moved on from that from video games now because like it's just like there's nothing really much to it anymore and everyone's like kind of got over it. So
yeah,
I
'cause
I totally get that.
yeah, you're just sitting still hitting targets. It's just like PS2 games had like tons of unnecessary mini games, you know?
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
it is very much like one of those things of that generation. And it's weird because, I just played fucking Yakuza 6 and like that's a game with a ton of unnecessary mini games, but like the way that they're integrated is like modern in a way that
Hmm.
I guess like PS2 mini games because like I also just played fucking Kingdom Hearts 2 again recently. It's like, boy, what is with this present shooting mini game? That was also a turret section. Like, why is
Yep.
this here? And it's interesting those kind of different tropes of generations.
Yep. Um. But yeah, that game is fucking great. Like especially like the last like 4 or 5 hours of that game. Like it's so good. For me at least. Like going for this goal like the entire game and then like finally getting it and like having that satisfaction with it. Is just so good for me at least. And like the probably thing that won't hold up for a lot of people or like doesn't hold up today is just like the fact it's like what like maybe like 10 to 15 hours of like John Marston being like, hey, like you said you were gonna help me find my family and like the guy was like, or you you're supposed to help me find this person so I can like turn them in to help my family. That's pretty much John Marston's MO through like majority of the game. And then like the person like he's at the mission from, it's like, oh yeah, I'll help you. Well, just do this one favor for me and I'll help you. And you're like, okay, I'll do it. You do the mission, and then like John Marston will be like, hey, are you ready? And he's like, no, I still need this other favor. It's like, oh god damn it. So it's like it's just that over and over again. And that if you want to be reductive about it, that's like pretty much like every mission in that game. But like because like it's really interesting. Like when you start that game, like you have a clue who John Marston is, like what kind of man he is, and like what it's about. Because you get off the train, you go try to find Bill Williamson, and then you're like, hey, like just come out, or because I have to kill you or whatever, and then like you get shot down, and then like you just on this ranch, and then you just go from that game, and
Which is
like
all I've seen of that game.
yeah. And like what's really cool about it is like you find out that like he's a family man, like just like the way he walks around and like talks to people and stuff like that. Like like you'll go by like a bar and a prostitute will come up to you like, hey, you want to like have a good time? And he's like, no, I'm a family man. I have a wife. I'm good. So no, thank you. And it's like, oh, okay, because like that's the turn from like something that you usually get from like GTA. Where it's like, oh, you could do anything you want. Like, oh, you have a family? Fuck them. You could like go fuck this prostitute at the side of the road if you want to or whatever. But like, John Marston is a character and he has values and you could tell that he was a man who like did bad things and reflected on those bad things and like he's still kind of a bad man at the end of the day, but like like he has this goal. His goal is his family. He's willing to do what he has to do to get to his family. Even if it's just the same mundane chore over and over again. But he's a good man at heart. You could tell that he's a good man. It's just that, he just was with the wrong people at the time, and now he has to turn those people in to get back to normal, to the normal life that he wants. Yeah, game's real good.
Do you think I would like that game?
I think you will like that game. Like I said, I think it's different enough from like the usual GTA bullshit that you'll like it. But like I said, like it's very like, do this mission. Hey, are we done? No, you do another thing. So you'll be like, I think you'll like get tired of like the repetitiveness of the game. But like I think it has like a lot of good themes and like I said, like I think the last like 4 or 5 hours of that game makes it totally worth it. Worth everything that you did in that game just to get to that part. And it's like a good like 2 or 3 hours of just doing that part, which I think is great. It's like it's completely different from the from the rest of the game. Well, not completely different because you learn stuff from the beginning of the game that comes back to the end. But like is what you were trying to go for, and you finally get it, and it's great and it's awesome. Even though it's slow and not much of anything, but like it's great. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the thing happens, and then like the game ends. It's just great. I think it's great because of that.
Okay. That's cool.
It honestly makes me think that like Red Dead 2 will not reach those goals. That's because like this story wise.
Yeah, it's a prequel, and that just makes me so. I guess like I think about it, like a big thing about the first Red Dead is that it is kind of like the end of the Wild West, right? Like it is, like we're trying to make the West less wild right now. Could we please calm down? And like that's a big part of like the story of that game, right? Like it's kind of rounding up the last of these vagabonds, right?
Yeah.
So doing something after that, still in the Wild West, would be really difficult. I don't know if you could make that make sense narratively.
I think they can, but like I think like I think what they'll have to give up is like all the stuff that I liked about Red Dead 1.
Mm-hmm.
All the stuff about John Marston, about a guy with a goal who's like has a noble goal, and like he has to do a bunch of bad things to get to that goal. And then in Red Dead 2, you're in a gang the entire time, more or less. So like,
you're what the children of Dutch, is that what they call themselves in that trailer?
Yes.
So I don't know. Like, there's room for interesting, like because we still don't know if like there are multiple people that you play in that game or not. There's room for interesting things to happen in that space, but yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, but yeah, Red Dead Redemption, great video game.
Pretty good video game. What else have you been playing?
Metal Gear Solid. I beat that.
Hell yeah! How's Metal Gear Solid 1?
Metal Gear Solid 1 is great. It's awesome. One of my favorite games of all time. It's so good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I really need to say about it.
I mean, that's really all that needs to be said about that. Now, how's Metal Gear Solid 2? Better question.
That jump is still crazy because I played the PlayStation 1 version of Metal Gear, and then you go to Metal Gear 2. That jump is just fucking insane.
It's really crazy.
It's an insane jump, and like it's just stuff in the PS2 era too that is like in near launch day PS2. I know it's not day and day, but I think it's like a year or two after the PS2 came out.
It's still really impressive to this day. Like,
it's crazy impressive, especially like all the stuff you can do in that game, like you can shoot bottles and like the attention to detail is like it's literally insane. Like how that game is made and how Hideo Kojima's made those games. It's just fucking crazy.
Yeah, because like even 3 isn't as big a jump. Like 3 does some really cool stuff, but like compared to what 2 did, like it's not nearly as groundbreaking technology wise. I think like it's hard to say, like, because for me, like narratively, and there's like weird shit in 3 that's like super my jam, and there's weird shit in 2, like the whole like holding up dudes and like you can kill everybody. Like you can just murder everyone, I guess. Is that in 2 or is that in 3? That might be in both.
It's in both. You can kill everybody, you can like spare everybody, more or less.
Yeah, so like, but like that the stuff in 3 is of like like the end boss fight and all that stuff is it's just so fucking weird in a way that I can get way into. So yeah, like but 2 is more of like the revolutionary, like because 3 runs on the same engine as 2, so it's a thing of like, man, like they must have spent years making this engine, and it really shows. So
yeah, well, Metal Gear 1 was what, 1995 or 6?
I think it's 96. I'll double
Yeah,
check. But
it got like Metal Gear 2. That was like maybe like
2001, maybe
2001, 2002. So yeah, that's like 5 years.
Yeah, and most of that was clearly making the engine, because God knows they just did the story over again. 1998 for Metal Gear Solid.
1980. Okay.
Um,
What was 2?
Metal Gear. Jesus Christ, I can't spell the word metal to save my life. Meal Gear. Let me tell you about Meal Gear. I just searched Metal Face by accident. Man, this is why you don't do things during a podcast. 2001. 3 years between those games.
Only 3 years.
Bonkers.
That's even more impressive.
Yeah, jeez. But yeah, that game still cool to this day. It was a thing where when I played it, because I did Twin Snakes before, it was less of a mind-blowing thing for me, but it was still really cool to see some of this stuff. It was when I watched them do Metal Gear Scanlan and then watched Metal Gear Solid, the original, all the way through for the first time, and then saw that Dan kind of going over the lot of the things that they showed off when they were shown off 2 the first time, when I really appreciated like what that game did. So 2's cool. Where are you at in 2?
I'm still Snake. I'm still at the beginning. Yeah. I haven't even done to the I haven't even seen the Ocelot yet. No, I just got finished being Olga. That's like the last place I left off.
Cool. You're still on the tanker.
Yeah.
Cool.
Still streaming it every time I play it. Like I thought I was gonna stop after Metal Gear, but like Mark likes me streaming Metal Gear, so I can keep streaming Metal Gear. So,
hell yeah. All you need is one great friend to play video games with. Anything else?
No, that's all my stuff, man. I haven't really been playing much of anything. A little bit of Mario Odyssey, a little bit of Celeste, but like nothing really to really talk about it.
Cool. I talked about this on bonus content a little bit. I'm just like in one of those gaming moods where I just don't know what the fuck to play. Where I'm bouncing around. I guess you're in the same spot, Miranda. I like God of War also on your list. I just noticed that.
I'm like really upset they didn't take advantage of it. Like they didn't make the A in God of War a 4 or some shit. Like they had so many opportunities and they just didn't do it.
No, I get it. Like I've written out the Taken 4 logo like 7 different ways. Taforkin, as I have affectionately started calling it. Just like Takthren, which is what I call Taken 3. But Miranda, how do you feel about Naruto?
I don't have positive or negative feelings. I watched it a bit when it was on like Toonami.
Okay. Shout out.
I'm old. That's what that means.
Listen, I watched Naruto on Toonami too. You're amongst friends. This is a safe place.
My brother was literally obsessed with it. He like watched it fully through to its end. He watches Boruto now. I have no strong feelings.
Okay. I probably cried at least 3 times this week about Naruto. One of which times I wasn't even watching or playing Naruto. I was just thinking about it.
Because I do that
I have
with
problems.
basketball.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Okay.
Where I just get like really emotional thinking about certain character arcs.
Yeah, I figured you'd understand where I'm coming from with that. So I finished Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 in my anthology of playing all of the Ultimate Ninja Storm games. So I talked about last week how they did this whole thing where they didn't render the cutscenes in game. They were doing this weird still motion anime scenes that were like not rendered. They were just like stop screenshots of videos from the anime. They stopped doing that like right after I talked about it last week, like in the game. Mm-hmm. So I was complaining about that last week. Not a huge issue. It's kind of just like where they start off and then they get really into it. Alongside finishing this, I watched, because I'm a mess. I watched all the anime up until where I couldn't anymore, which I'm dub trash. So I was watching the English dub up until the point where it's at now, without any filler, and which is for your reference, Nabishin, when the Tsukuyomi launches.
Okay.
Which is cool. It's a good stopping point, I feel, and then I kind of played the rest of it, which I don't know how different it was. And so like it's kind of me seeing the end of that story for the first time, like really like beat to beat to beat. Fucking weird, man. How did you feel about it, Nabishin? Because we never really talked about like how do you feel about fucking like, well, I'm fucking a moon god. I'm here. Let's talk. I want to rule the world.
I don't even know, dude. Like I when it all happened, like I just took it all in. Like when I read it from week to week, and I don't know. Like it got weird, but like I never really thought too much about it, honestly. Like there's like 5 different gods by the end of that
Sure,
series.
Because like the one thing that didn't really register to me was like how Hagoromo like shows up and he's like, I'm gonna give you guys god powers, I guess. And it's like, how did you do that? And you know, I've got a sun in my hand, you've got a moon in your hand, and now we have magic powers. It's like, we're gonna talk about this, really? I liked how those two conversations happened, and I know we're in the weeds here. Just bear with me for a little bit. Let me have my fucking moment. But yeah, it's just like, you know, when Madara's like doing his shit, and you're like, man, this dude's fucking terrifying. And he's like really messing shit up, and he takes all the tail beasts in like 14 minutes when it took like 6 seasons before, and you're like, that's really impressive. And I don't, like that stuff is, I thought, cool. It's just like it undermined him as a villain, I guess, to just have him be like, you were just a tool too. You're all tools. There's a whole lot of like that one twist where it's like you were a tool the whole time. It's like they did it with Pain, then they did it with Obito, and then they did it with Madara. It's like back to back to back like this. But I don't know.
That series went weird.
It got weird, right?
I'm just really just thinking about it now because, like, you know, just talk about ninja schools at the beginning of it, and then it's just like finding gods. But like, you know, you can kind of say, "Oh, that's all shown in anime," and like,
Yeah.
you're kind of right about that. But like,
I'm real excited to see how My Hero Academia handles that, because I bet it would be. I bet it's going to be different because like generally that show is different. But still, like very. There's an escalation of powers in that.
I think why that didn't bother me as much when I read that, because like Bleach was finishing up at the same time.
Oh,
and
true.
like
Yeah,
and like when it's like that's like complete garbage compared to like something so good with Naruto. So it's like, man,
I feel like they build to it as well in Naruto. And the nice thing about them kind of having the end of this arc, and then you get that time where they reflect on how everything went down between Madara and fucking can't remember his name, Senju Hashirama? Yes. I remember that because in the game, Madara was like, Hashirama! I was just laughing on the whole time. But like they show, they set the tone of like, well, this has happened before. Like, there have been people that were this powerful before, and it was these two people, and they were special because they were that powerful. And then you kind of get into it's like, well, we got like 12 people out here that are real strong. But they really do set up like Naruto and Sasuke are like on another level. And you have that because you're looking at them through the lens of Sakura, who's just out here like, boy, I should have just given up halfway a long time ago. But yeah, so it was just, there's a lot of like escalation that I think, you know, if you watch Shippuden from beginning to end, I feel like they escalate how ridiculous it gets pretty well. Like it feels like a pretty even arc upward of like, man, they started fighting in alleyways and then they ended blowing up mountains, I guess. And it's like, okay, like we got there at least. I felt like people had to work really hard to get there, so I'm less upset about it. I'll say that much. So I feel
you more or less saw the process of how they got there.
Mm-hmm.
More of like, it wasn't like the time jump MacGuffin was to Shippuden, but like everywhere else from there, like you've seen every step of the way.
Yeah, there's still a lot of hard work that went on after that point as well.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, and it's cool. Like I regardless of like how weird it got in that like fucking moon princess showed up and she's a god and she made all chakra and I guess we're gonna have to deal with this now, and all that. Like regardless of how weird that was, I think it was still cool, and it was all just a big heel turn because in the end it was just a fight between Naruto and Sasuke, which I liked a lot. Seeing like it really set up well for that. Still dumb that Sasuke still sucks a lot, but
Yeah.
just because it's like, dude, just fucking chill, like but regardless, that game did a very good job at telling that story, and the way like visually it does things later on is fucking really really good. So I was really happy. There is like a full on, they go like all the way Metal Gear Solid 4 with that final boss fight, and it was fantastic. So in that, like the whole like the music they were pulling from the previous games, and mechanically the way things went down, I was really impressed. Like that series grew so much from beginning to end. It was really impressive. But anyway, after that, I was an emotional wreck, so I had to go play other video games. I jumped around a lot this week. I've been trying to do, there's like a bunch of extra boss fights in God of War. I'm trying to do the last one.
The Valkyries?
Yeah. It's fucking stupid. So it's just like so long. And I got almost to the end, and I died because this dumb attack where she'll like, the boss will like fly up in the air and then land on you, and it's like she'll also do this thing where she like weaves out of your periphery and you have to like turn to see her, so she'll do that and I'll look over and I see her just going up. I'm like, fuck, I don't have enough time to react to this, and then she lands on you and does like way too much damage, and it's like fucking, so that got me like right, I was like literally less than a health bar left, and I died, and I was like, I'm gonna stop right now. I need to walk away. I played a little bit more Persona 5. I got some mementos, so I'm just chilling, replaying it, have a good time. I played a little bit more Hyper Light Drifter, which I've been replaying. I haven't talked about this on the show. I've been replaying that on the side a little bit. It's funny because that game has like a visual cue in it to let you know that there's a secret. And I didn't see that for the first time until the end of my first playthrough. So playing through the whole game again, knowing what that visual cue is, completely changes the whole game. So maybe I'm just playing it off and on here and there, like 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there. Maybe I'll try and get everything in that game because I do really like that game. It's just depressing and difficult also. So it's a thing I don't want to spend too much time to. I'm doing that thing now that, like, I have more money. It's like a thing where I'll just buy video games. I'm like, I don't even know if I'm going to play this. I should stop doing this. So I bought the Swords of Ditto. And I started playing that because, like, Mike really liked it, and it seems like my kind of game, and it's got a really great style. Theme song has a kazoo in it, so it seems all right. But I just played the opening of it. And in a series of other things I was like, man, I can't play anything. I just want to listen to podcasts and play video game. Fuck, what do I play? And I didn't want to play Destiny for whatever reason because I have to figure out what I need to do in Destiny, so I didn't want to play that. So I re-downloaded Diablo 3.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
Like, I'm in Destiny post game. Like, I don't know what I need to do to grind my light, and I gotta do side quests and pay attention. And I'm like, it's too much work right now. If I knew exactly what I needed to do, I would just do it. So I re-downloaded Diablo 3. When Destiny fails me, I'll play other Destiny, which is Diablo 3. And I bought the Necromancer DLC, which is the extra character they put out late last year. So I started a new game with the Necromancer, and she's pretty cool. She can summon ghosts, and the ghost wizards will shoot spells, and it's pretty all right. What I like about the Necromancer is, like, enemies will start leaving corpses when you kill them instead of, like, just disappearing. And if you, depending on your ability setup, right, you can have a series of abilities that will like. Here's an AoE that blows up all the corpses here, and they just explode and do damage to enemies. Or here's an attack where, like, if I hold it, all the corpses will just turn into flying spikes and start shooting at enemies. And it's pretty cool. It makes enemy corpses a resource in a way that is, like, really cool for that game, since you're just fighting mobs of enemies over and over again. But yeah, I've been digging it. But that's really it. Naruto's really good. I tweeted out this week, I've discovered something about myself. I know you've all been waiting for it. I like Naruto too much. Which is, I don't know if I've ever confronted a truth about myself as honestly as that. So, that's where I'm at. Hey,
it looks like that was a good purchase.
Yeah, it was. It ended up, Scott, it ended up working out. $34 well spent. It revitalized my love for Naruto. So.
Honestly, that was the only worry there. It's like,
yeah.
Dude.
Are you gonna move on to Boruto now?
So I watched the last Naruto movie. So I'll tell you how deep in I am right now. Which is about Naruto and Hinata and them coming together. It's very good. It was thinking about that after the fact that made me start crying. And then I started watching Boruto, Road to Boruto, which is that Naruto movie. Because there's a little bit of that in Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. Like, I guess they did like an Ultimate Edition that had that as DLC included. And that stuff's been interesting. Like, I haven't finished it. I watched the first half, and I played a little bit of the part of that in the game.
It's quite a bit different this time around.
It's really different. It's weird, and it's cool because, like, it's a little like modern in it's like, well, there's all this new technology now, and it's like you can just do your ninja magic with this little contraption on your wrist. And Boruto's like, fucking get with it, Dad. Like, be cool. And he's like, no, this is fucking, it was pure. Back in my day, we had to fight and earn our powers. And it's like, so there's a little bit of that, like new age versus old age. But
hold on. That situation is almost completely reversed.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's Boruto has like this fascination with technology, and like when Naruto was talking about the Genin exams specifically, he said that. But I don't know. It's like Boruto's personality is very interesting. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll get way into it.
I started reading it, and then I just kind of dropped it. Like it's something I don't need in my life.
It's a thing of like, I know it's, it's how I felt about Harry Potter and everything that came after it. Like, I've never read The Cursed Child. I don't know if I ever will at this point. A lot of people don't like it, I guess. So, but it's a thing of like, I got my closure, right? Like, my story
exactly,
ended, and I'm like happy with that, and I'm happy for anybody that digs Boruto. And I'm sure because like anime is so fucking anime for me, there will be a point in my life where I need more of that world and I want to be in it again, and I'll get there. But like, even if I end up not liking that, I know now that it's not going to diminish what I really cared about in that first series,
For sure.
Yeah, no, they do a good job for that.
Yeah. And then, like, just mentally for me,
I got pretty far in. I ended up dropping it simply because I dropped everything. Like everything.
Yeah. Do you still read My Hero Academia at all?
Motherfucker. Real. Oh my god, that last one was insane. Okay. It is insane because nothing really happened. Like, there's no fights in that last panel, but like, holy shit, was there like emotions like crazy.
Still delivering then, I assume.
Oh my god, dude! Like you have no idea. Like,
I don't. I'm so excited to have an idea, but
it's so fucking good. I'm about to get loud, but it's too late for me to get
loud. Let's take
I dropped that. I dropped all the cartoons I was watching. I dropped everything, man.
Okay, I feel that,
dude.
Everything. But not Ni no Kuni.
This happened at the same time I was dropping all the video games too.
Yeah, I gotcha.
But I mean, I can start getting back into stuff. I don't think I'm probably not going to go back to that one, to be honest.
Alright.
It's good, but once again, I dropped off of. I was always on and off with Naruto,
Yeah, that's fine. That's fair. That is how most people are, I think, with Naruto. So
and then I watched it. I enjoyed it, but I just enjoyed it.
yeah, it was
And
a
then once
thing.
it was done, I was also done.
Yeah, it's a thing that I had to kind of go out of my way for, but I wanted to, but I understand why someone wouldn't. You know.
Right.
Fair enough.
Eh,
Let's take a break. When we come
I
back, we got
can.
some news I'd like to talk
Right.
about.
This is what this whole interjection was about. I can tell you
Oh,
that it it's it stands as its own thing very well.
that's good. I like that. It also, like, I don't know. I feel like I've seen a lot more time jumps around that. Like, I feel like I've seen like adult Boruto. I'm like, okay, fucking, I guess we're there.
You have.
Okay.
That's how it starts.
Okay.
You don't see him again,
Okay.
but that is how it starts.
Cool. That's good to know. Maybe I'll check it out. I don't know if this is a rabbit hole I should go down, but we'll see.
You'd enjoy it.
I'd enjoy it. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about some news. We got some questions. We got a lot of anime questions, Miranda. Don't worry. I know you're concerned
Oh, good.
that
I'm excited.
it was all Kingdom Hearts related, but there's some good
I was concerned.
anime questions in there too. We're gonna take a break, talk about video games when we get back in regard to news, and then take some questions, and then we will throw it out. So we will be back in just a little bit.
Choo choo choo.
Now is your second opportunity to go use the bathroom. Let me see if I can put a little thing over here.
I mean, I dipped for a second and ate dinner earlier.
Nice. I just have to use the bathroom because I have a weak constitution.
I just didn't stretch my damn legs.
Hell yeah. The only podcast that requires stretching, Irrational Passions. All right, I'm going to throw up a little thing real quick, and we will be back in just a little bit.
like the original stuff wasn't finished, and then like you're just doing this whole new thing, which is like cool and awesome, and like it's for kids and everything. But it's like,
Are you talking about I can't remember. Think of the name now that I said that.
I was talking about Pokemon for a minute, but now we were talking about Thundercats.
Thundercats. Okay, that's what I was looking for.
Okay.
It looks. I hate it. I mean, let me say though, I literally don't care because it's for children. But it's annoying to me that we have all these cartoons coming out that look exactly the same.
It is very much
like that bothers me because it looks just like Steven Universe. Like.
Yeah.
And that's frustrating to me because there are like so many other art styles and interesting ways to do stuff, and they're just not exploring those. Anyway, that's my soapbox.
Miranda, I'm gonna ask you a question, and we don't have to spend a lot of time on this. How do you feel about Rick and Morty?
It's amusing, but like everybody who likes it's a piece of shit.
Okay. Oh man, Blessing's Rick and Morty joke last week was so fucking funny. I'm pissed though because he made the same joke on Stir Fry. I don't know if you listened to that at all, Nabishin, but
I didn't get a chance to.
he fucking literally was like, he compared something else very similar to what we were talking about to Rick and Morty. He's like, well, if you were an intellectual, I'm like, fucking this piece of shit out of here does this with everything. You guys ready to start?
Is Scott back?
Scott, are you here?
I'm in and out.
How's your internet looking, man? Great.
It's weird.
Okay.
No, that time it was just me not hitting the push talk button again.
Okay. Fair enough.
But most when I cut out, everything cuts out.
Okay.
And I'm getting massive spikes, more than I ever normally would.
Do you think
So yeah, I am quite literally capping out my own wireless bandwidth.
you think somebody's downloading a bunch of porn downstairs?
Discord. No, I'm capping out my own card, or I'm capping out, or at the very least, what I can send down to the router by talking, and it backs everything up, and then I cut out.
Are you downloading a whole bunch of porn?
No, it spikes when I talk, and then it stops.
Okay.
So it has something to do with how Discord does calls.
Great. Solve one problem, open up another.
Yeah, it's my internet's kind of just like this though.
Okay.
Everything is generally lightweight enough that it doesn't cause problems, and I keep everything pretty trim, but it's spotty at times.
Okay.
So it's now that this uses more internet, and that doesn't. To put it this way, it's, you know how you run into problems when you don't plug in your Ethernet cable?
Yeah.
Yeah, now I need to plug in an Ethernet cable.
Got it. No worries.
But I can't.
Yeah, I figured not. I figure if you could, you'd be hardwired all the time.
Yeah, it's just easier.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, we're fucking starting, so hopefully the internet will let us get through this. Fingers crossed. All right, let's go. News in gaming. You forget about that one, Miranda?
I have no recollection.
Still good, ends up. Let's talk about some news. Let's start with a banger. I feel like we got to start here. We got to talk about it. It's going to be mostly Nabish, and I get that. I'm sorry. But we need to do this. Folks, check the timestamps. I'll see if I can figure this out in there. Let's talk about Kingdom Hearts. So Kingdom Hearts previews went up today. People got to play it yesterday. A lot of people, I guess. A lot. If you were asking me, someone who really wanted to play Kingdom Hearts 3 at all points in his life, a lot of people got to play Kingdom Hearts 3 yesterday, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. there are a lot of great previews out there. The news related things to it, not a lot, but I figure it'd be a good forum for Nobsh and I to talk about, like, some of the previews we saw and how we felt about it. News things about it. Nomura came out there, talked about hair entangled, I guess, rendering that, but more importantly, he talked about they were planning on announcing a release date for Kingdom Hearts 3 in quote-unquote early June, which also relates directly to E3. So presumably they are planning on announcing a release date on, during, or around the Square Enix press conference that they're doing on June 11th, which makes sense. It's what we've been saying this whole time, Nobishin. Just no one believed us. I want to take a moment. I want to ask you, Nobishin, Kingdom Hearts 3 release date. I want you to give me your stab in the dark. What do you think it'll be?
It would probably be I would say similar to Final Fantasy 15 and be like
End
near
of
the end
September,
of
and that
November.
gets delayed till November.
Something like that. Yeah, actually. But like I would say like probably like around November. But like I think for that game to really do really well, really well, I would say like it would be best to be like around February 2019.
2019, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my thing is, because I've said, I could totally see that game coming out the first 3 months of next year. Like, ultimately, if it really comes down to it, I just don't know how much better it's gonna do early next year versus the end of this year. Like, I don't know what you can do to make Kingdom Hearts 3 do better. Other than maybe putting out the collection, the HD collection on Xbox One. Like, please, Lord, just do it. It doesn't make sense unless there's some contract preventing it from being on other consoles. Then Sony, like, it just doesn't make sense. But I like Scott White and I had the same, like, it's either like November 6th or November 9th, depending on if it comes out on like a Tuesday or Friday, whatever they decide. That's like, I think first week or first 2 weeks of November is where it'll be at. Because, like, it could be one of those things, like, where it is pretty much done in a way that we can't expect, and it's actually like, okay, let's go September, let's do it, which would be like fine. September is a little packed for my liking.
September is insane.
I don't think the only thing in September, like, I know they're two very different games, but Tomb Raider's coming out in September as well, so and everyone's staying out of October. Like, honestly, Kingdom Hearts 3 could come out the same day as Red Dead 2, and I don't give a fuck. Like, I feel like there's zero crossover there. So, like, but, yeah, I don't know. I still think, like, this year, November makes the most sense, especially with, like, Call of Duty out of November.
I think it'll be in November if they're going to hit any time this year, because it's kind of like their AAA release. It's kind of like Final Fantasy is their, like their, I guess you would say, quadruple A or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Their biggest release that they can have, and like Kingdom Hearts like slightly under that. So I would think it'll be like, since that's such a high profile game for them as well, it would be around that point.
Yeah, I mean, Square is not lacking for games, big games that are putting out this year. They got Shadow of the Tomb Raider and Dragon Quest 11 same month. Like, they're doing fine. But yeah, so Kingdom Hearts 3 previews came out. What did you think? Talk to me. How did you feel, Nobishin?
I didn't really look too far into them. I just like listened to Easy Allies, and I read Jonathan Thorbush on IGN's article about it.
Mm-hmm.
But like just to get like the general gist of it from people who actually know Kingdom Hearts are and big fans of Kingdom Hearts, like it's slightly surprising to me in a way, because like it feels like it's to like be like, I guess to give like the worst comparison for it, but like it feels like it's going to be like the culmination of it. It feels like it's going to be like literally the Infinity Wars of
I made this comparison last week. Listen, man, we're on a roll.
So it was like I don't want to get too excited for them, and like I can't allow myself to.
Yeah,
because like if I get that excited for it, I'll fucking die. that is way too much for me.
Yeah, no, I get you because I'm on the same page. Like, it's cool to hear because for the most part, it was just a mechanics driven series of 2 demos. One seemingly like the first level, which is Olympus, Mount Olympus, and Olympia, whatever that world ends up being called, since it's fucking different every time. And then like the Toy Story world. It's weird because like these worlds are on such a big scale now. Like, what do they? I feel like you got to call them something different. Like Traverse Town is like a town, sure, but like the Toy Story world is like Andy's house, and then outside Andy's house, like all of outside, and then a toy store. It's like really big areas too. So it's like, what do you call that? Like Seattle? Like, like I don't understand. Like, but mechanically, it's cool to hear how it's like we got like a little bit of Birth by Sleep, a little bit of Kingdom Hearts 2, a little bit of Dream Drop Distance, a lot of like the best mechanics of all the games, which is a little bit of what the 0.2 Fragmentary Passage demo like felt like, but. There wasn't like a lot of Dream Drop Distance things. There was like a lot of mostly Birth by Sleep, but I guess you didn't watch much of the gameplay. But
just the B-roll that was shown during the Easy Allies video.
Okay, I didn't watch much past that. I watched kind of like a straight shot from GameSpot of like that climbing Mount Olympus trailer, which there was a lot of that in that B-roll. But you could just walk up a lot of vertical walls, and I like that the first thing they address in that Easy Allies video is how awkward it was to move horizontally on vertical walls, which is the first thing I noticed when I saw it, and they're like, it's not as big a deal. I'm like, okay, cool, because those guys know what's up. But yeah, it's a little bit of flow motion, a lot of the combos, Keyblade transformations. You can switch Keyblades like on the D-pad. Stuff like that's really cool, and it lends itself to the mechanics that they're building up. And like shot locks are back. I never really used shot locks before. I probably won't use them anymore in this game. I don't know how into shot locks you were, Navashan.
I wasn't into shot locks. The 100% that game, I had to get really very good at shot locks.
Yeah, sure. So, but like the summons seem really cool, and the way they work seem really cool. Like Wreck-It Ralph was announced as a summon. That's cool. And like the roller coaster rides, or like the theme park rides, which are like only in specific boss fights, it seems, seem really cool. Like, I don't know, they've done a lot of stuff to just, the way like Ben Moore put it in that Easy Allies preview is like make it feel big and feel like you have a ton of stuff you can do in any given combat scenario, and that's exactly what you would want, right? That's how Kingdom Hearts 2 felt. And what's cool for me, having like just played Kingdom Hearts 1, and they talked about it, is like the Easy Allies talked about it in their preview of it feels there are areas that you want to explore because they're so grand and big, and like hearing about that 3-level it's like 3-story toy store that you can explore all of them. Like, fuck, that sounds so great, because like Kingdom Hearts 2 really is like these very small areas that aren't that interesting to explore, but Kingdom Hearts 1 was like slightly bigger areas that had like a lot of nooks and crannies. So to hear it kind of like mixing the scale and the exploratory aspects was exactly what I wanted after I went back and played a little bit of Kingdom Hearts 1, or replayed Kingdom Hearts 1. So it's cool to hear that they're actually delivering on that. And like a thing that they lost in Dream Drop Distance and Birth by Sleep especially was just like the visual appearance of these worlds. Like there's a lot of them, but there was no detail and finesse to them. And like you can look at any of the Toy Story gameplay from these previews, and you're like, boy, these are jam packed with like just attention to detail and things that make you feel a part of that world.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's just like it is one of those things where like everything I was kind of worried about, save for the story, which don't even get me started. I like they're trying to deliver on those fronts, and it's also like I had a moment last year when I was thinking about it. I was like, man, like it's actually gonna happen, which is it's not it's a thing where, like, oh, it's a video game. They announced it. It's going to happen, whatever. But it's also a thing of like, well, this is Disney now. And Disney now is different from Disney then. And like, they're a lot more close to the chest with their properties. And them letting this happen is really cool, honestly. And I don't know if we'll ever get another one. So let's just have a good time while we're in it. So yeah, it seems Kingdom Hearts 3 seems real promising.
It's kind of giving me like right now with all the impressions and like how positive it's been, like super positive even. It's kind of giving me like the same impressions when when like reviews came out for like Bayonetta 2. I was like, oh my god, like people actually get this game, like they actually understand it, and like I felt so acknowledged and validated, or vindicated, I should say, for people actually seeing like how good that game was and how good that series is, and like and I know it's like mostly just Kingdom Hearts fans that's playing that game, so like it's like whatever, but like
those are the people I want to hear talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. So like hearing, because like because after like Dream Drop Distance, it's been very weird being like Kingdom Hearts fans. I felt like it's like after that game, it's like this like where everybody was just like, I don't know about the series anymore, but now it's like it feels good again. Yeah. It feels really, really good.
Yeah.
And it makes me happy.
I got like a lot of theories written down about Kingdom Hearts 3. One of mine is that like they spent a lot of time retconning all the stuff they got up to in Dream Drop Distance. But we'll see. But yeah, I mean, like we still don't know much about the story. Not that like I don't think they're, because I said this before, like what are they gonna show about the story of Kingdom Hearts 3 that's gonna make you understand what it's all about? And we got some questions about this that we'll get into a little bit later, but it's just like there's nothing really that they can show me that's gonna make me feel better or worse in any way. So yeah, I'm excited.
No, this is one of those games where it's at this point it is okay if this is a game for the fans of the series and just them.
Yeah, I think
it's perfectly okay if it's just for us at that point.
I mean, yeah, in my humble opinion, for sure. I think like it seems like it'll be cool to play for other people, but yeah, like I just don't know how someone's gonna jump into this and have a great time, like, and understand what's happening.
Yeah, because you always have the people who are like, oh, I heard about this series for years, and like I guess I'll just get the new one because like people talk about it so much, and then it scares me to death about that, because it's like people just going in and like, what the fuck is going on? And it's like, oh man.
See, my strategy to that, and you'll hate it, but is I dismiss their opinion as much as they dismiss their approach to the game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like that's the way you gotta play it. It's just like, well, I understand why you're frustrated for it, but like I can't be on the same page as you, right? Like not about this.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote down a lot of news. I don't know how much of it we gotta go through. Kingdom Hearts was really what I wanted to talk about. A couple of follow-ups to last week. We had the big Walmart leak. So Rage 2 was officially announced. The sequel to Rage. Bethesda came out and they announced it on Monday, and they put out a gameplay trailer on Tuesday. So that was like one of those big rumored ones from last week. Miranda, what's your relationship with the video game Rage?
Literally, I did not know what it was until the Rage 2 announcement came.
What's your relationship with the emotional concept Rage?
I have felt it many a time, especially when driving.
Yeah. Guess what? There's a lot of driving in Rage 2's open world. See how I tied that all together?
That makes so much sense.
It's true. It does make a lot of sense. So, I don't know, like, Rage was cool because of, like, this whole rendering thing it did on PS3 360. Whatever. id Tech is rad. It always has been rad. Avalanche is developing Rage 2, which we didn't know last week. They're the guys that made Just Cause, which I think is actually cool. And it's cool to see them like making, I guess, a bigger IP. Like I feel like honestly, Just Cause and Rage are probably on about the same level. As far as like people that know and or care about them, I don't know who wanted a Rage 2, but here we are. Namashin, did you watch the gameplay trailer at all?
Yeah, a little bit of it. Like, I don't know. Like, It doesn't speak to me. So
Yeah,
I guess
my thing is
it's-
that like graphically it looks really great. Action wise, like the shooting looks good, but like then they just showed a bunch of driving and like combat driving, and I'm like, fuck, do I not care about this? Like, I do not want to do this. I was just like thinking about like open world games where you have to drive around a lot. I just can't. I cannot. And maybe I'm in the minority on
I
that.
kind of feel you there, but at the same time, I guess on a completely different note, let's assume that Rage 2 is actually really good,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so Rage 2 would be the reason why people would jump into Kingdom Hearts 3 first thing.
They would play Rage. And be like, boy, I'm done with this.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
No.
You don't understand what I'm trying to say?
No, I don't.
Okay, so you know how I never played Killzone 1?
Yeah.
Really like Killzone 2?
Yeah.
And that was just fine.
Yeah. So if you could
Yeah,
jump into Rage
same.
2 and have a great time, you could probably jump into Kingdom Hearts 3 and have a great time.
No.
Okay.
But it's the same concept.
Okay. I see where you're coming from. I don't know, like, it looks fine is the thing. Like, I don't want to sit here and shit on it. It's just, like, specifically the whole open world driving thing to me. It's just, like, after, like, Zelda and Horizon and I guess God of War, although that's, like, more of, like, a fractured open world.
I'm sorry, I thought that was funny.
But, like, you know, there's been a very different ilk of open world games that are way more focused on, like, micro exploration versus macro exploration. That stuff is just way more interesting to me. Now that I've gotten, like, a lot of good iterations of that back to back to back. That it's just like, man, it bums me out. I don't know. Either way, Rage 2, it's a video game. It's coming out this year, I guess. Is it this year? No, it's like early next year. It's like February, right? I forgot the release date already. That didn't take long.
Somewhere around it.
I'll look that up just in case. Boss Key Productions, makers of video games such as Radical Heights and that other one.
The incredibly popular
The
Lawbreakers.
incredibly popular Lawbreakers. Boss Key Productions has now been closed. Which it's like a bummer, you know. I hate it when people lose their jobs in any situation. But I guess like so Cliff Bleszinski, infamously known for making Gears of War, and he'll never get away from it even if he tries. And also like founder of Boss Key, I guess like announced it with a tweet, and like I guess some people found out that the studio was closing via that tweet.
Yeah.
Which is
I heard the same.
a fucking bummer, man. I can't.
That's so shitty. I don't understand why people don't just tell their employees what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess like maybe they don't want them to tell the news, but like get them in a room ahead of time and say something.
Mm-hmm. It just says Rage 2 will be coming out spring of 2019. That's all we know. But yeah, like I can't necessarily confirm if that's true. It sounds like some shit that would probably happen. You know, and he was pretty upfront about like, you know, our last ditch effort was trying to capitalize on this battle royale genre with Radical Heights, and it didn't work. And I assume like if you were there, if you were at that studio, you probably knew things weren't looking great. Which is a bummer because, you know, it was a cool studio. I liked the idea of them out there trying to do different kinds of shooters. It just seemed like both games were trying to capitalize on like a fad of the time, and neither of them could properly do it. And yeah, it's over. And Cliff Bleszinski said like in his announcement that it sounds like he's gonna take some time off, which maybe is a good call. But
yeah,
Radical Heights will be up for a little bit longer, and then it will be going down. Also a follow-up from last week, 2K put out a press release saying like, hey, we have a really big unannounced video game that's that is been delayed until next year. And it's like, all right, it's unannounced, so I guess thanks. But it sounds like in corroboration with some things that Gearbox has been saying that it could be Borderlands 3. Which sounds real. or it's Evolve 2, and all of you were wrong. So we'll have to wait and see.
They're not making it Evolve 2, let's be real.
I'm just saying it started to sound like you're a hater, Miranda, and I don't know, Evolve is a great game. 9.0, RationalPassion.com, reviewed by one Alex O'Neill, who's a big fan of Evolve. Take me back, Turtle Rock. But yeah, that's, it sounds like those two things line up. My only question now, I guess, is like, Just Cause 4 was also on that leaked list, and if Avalanche is making Rage 2, who would be making Just Cause 4?
Who's making that?
Yeah, unless they split into two teams, which I don't know if Avalanche is big enough to do that.
I mean, I think the best part about, I guess, how far we moved on from the Bosky Productions.
Yeah, go for it, Scott.
I think the saddest part about it is that apparently Lawbreakers is pretty good.
Yeah, like Lawbreakers, it seems alright.
It was just $30, and I was like, why isn't it free? And it's like, what?
Yeah. And Alex Van Aken, friend of the show, like, he really liked that game, and he thought it was like, it had a lot of really cool ideas, and it's like, man, I wish that game.
Then he couldn't play because at any point in time there were like
30 people playing.
Players. It was such a funny thing to watch happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like from the outside looking in, it was like it's a pretty good game, but it's funny to watch nobody play it.
But you watch this poor game burn itself to the ground. I want to talk about Call of Duty. I know this is a very unpopular topic. I guess like it's weird that I feel like it's true of most video game podcasts. Like Call of Duty, the biggest video game franchise. Period. I feel like no one really wants to talk about it, except for people who like Call of Duty. But I guess no one really wants to talk to them to begin with. Miranda, because everyone in their life has played a Call of Duty. When was the last time you played a Call of Duty game?
Somewhat recently, actually. Parker and I played one of the Call of Duty's zombies for a Let's Play.
Okay.
Because we were figuring out how to do it, and it was pretty fun, to be honest. There's nothing wrong with Call of Duty games. The only reason we hate on them is because they come out every damn year.
Yeah. So Call of Duty Black Ops 4 had its reveal event this week. We've talked about a few of the rumors in the past. You weren't here when we talked about like their lack of single player rumors, Namashin, but we did talk about them. So they kind of came out. They talked about a lot of stuff. They confirmed a lot of the suspicions that were going on. Just to reiterate, Call of Duty is coming out October 12th, it's just like it is breaking convention in a lot of ways. There will be no single player mode in Call of Duty Black Ops 4. There will be like single player stuff. Basically, since it's multiplayer focused, they are taking the concept of specialists from Black Ops 3, which is, I guess, like a class. Like they're different specialists, they're different characters. They each have their own equipment that they can equip in their create class. So they have basically unique traits that are unique to them. And I think they have like a super that is also unique to them. I'm not positive. It's been a while since I played 40 hours of the Black Ops 3 multiplayer beta because that's how I got Call of Duty out of my system, I guess. But so there will be like single player missions, solo missions that you can play for each specialist that tell their each individual story. It doesn't sound like it's something that's very extensive, but there will be stuff like that. There will be a battle royale mode. It's called Blackout. We don't really know too much about it. We don't know how many players it is, for example, or if it's one of those things where you drop in and have to find your equipment like traditional battle royale modes. I'm going to assume they gave a little bit of a hint as to the scale of it. It seems like it is similar, at least in scale, to other battle royale things. Very large map. But it will have air, land, and sea vehicles, which I guess makes it the first battle royale mode with all of the above there. So I don't know if there's helicopters flying around in Fortnite, but I assume not. So we don't know too much about it, but it will still have zombies, which has always been a Treyarch thing. It's going to have like a zombies campaign-esque thing. You can play zombies with AI companions also in this version, so that way you'd be able to enjoy it even if you like to play by yourself, which is cool for me, just on a personal level. And it's going to launch with 3 zombies maps, which is more than they have before. It's going to try and emphasize the mystery of that a little bit more. And it's going to have multiplayer. A lot of big changes going on in multiplayer, though. The specialist stuff they're leaning into a little bit harder. There's no auto-regenerating health, which is, like, for me, it's, like, blowing my mind. Even though, like, there's still a button that you hit to regain your health, but it's something that you have to take a moment to do versus something that it does automatically, which does change the feel of that. It also leaves room for there to be medic classes in Call of Duty, which there have never really been. Things like that. There's a lot more tools and equipment it seems like they're throwing out, like shields and barriers and cover that you can create. I don't know, like they were talking about a lot of stuff that was really interesting to me. And I know I say this, like, I feel like I say it every other year, but, like, it makes me really want to check this one out. Luckily, they're going to be doing another multiplayer beta like they did for Black Ops 3. And I guess they did it for World War II as well, but I want to try it. I want to see what's going on with Call of Duty Black Ops 4 with this multiplayer-only Call of Duty. And I just want to see what the feel is. Like, it seems like they're trying to lean into something that a lot of people were making Rainbow Six Siege comparisons, something more tactile or tactical, that requires a lot more teamwork, which Call of Duty's never really been about. It's like the lone wolf, the video game. So them leaning into this stuff has me at least interested. Did you have any feelings, Nobishin, since you've not talked about any of these rumors yet?
I just need you to count me in.
Oh, okay. Your audio fallout?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Tell me your feelings about Call of Duty, Nobishin.
I don't know, dude. Like, because I don't know if it's something that it's a move to make them still relevant. Because I don't know if that's really what it is. Because they're still the number one selling game every year, like regardless. Like they come out in like October or November, and like in the 2 or 3 months they outsell every video game that came out that year. So I think that says something about the brand and what Call of Duty still is. And like it's so mainstream that like that, like no one really talks about it, and like it's like it's just a weird type of thing because like Fortnite became such like the next biggest thing now. So like of course they will like try to get something from that and like try to like capitalize off of that. So like I guess they can like even like grow more from that. Like the whole campaign thing missing is just it's weird because like it's more of like a bummer type of thing. It's more of like a bummer because like it makes sense. It makes sense entirely because like everyone they've been saying this like since the PS3 and 360 era that like no one really plays this thing. Yeah, that no one really cares about the single player, or like people who play the single player is like are so small that it doesn't really it doesn't seem like really cost effective or affordable. Like it seems like the single player only made it to make good trailers or whatever. But like there's not a really real reason to like have a single player mode in a Call of Duty game. So like now that they moved off of that, like like this is like pretty much like the show and tell of it right now. Like if it really is like something that matters in that game. And like the weird thing about it is like the general gaming public, as in like websites and like mostly gaming podcasts like us do, like none of us really play Call of Duty like that. So it's like it's as far as us saying something like, oh, like we missed a single player, like does that really matter to like the general public? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really seem like that's the case.
Yeah, the IP Writers Guild, they were crunching some numbers because we were talking about this, and I was saying like how I was excited about it, and Logan was saying that he wasn't because we never agree on anything. But like he likes the Call of Duty campaigns. He really liked Infinite's campaign, Infinite Warfare. they were talking. They looked at trophy data on PS3, and apparently 24% of players had finished the World War II single player campaign, which is still a pretty good chunk. But I guess compare that to the millions of hours logged into multiplayer, and I guess it makes sense. There's rumors that Black Ops was hit some issues during development, and that's why it ended up not having a single player. But it's hard to know. I'm just very curious what this game looks like in the future.
Exactly.
A couple other last hit news stories. No Man's Sky has an official release date for Xbox One, which is July 24th. What's important about this is also the release date for the patch that they had kind of hinted was going to be very big. It's called the Next patch, the Next update. And they unveiled the box art for the Xbox One version, which has 4 players on it. So they, with this, officially unveiled that it will be the multiplayer update, so you will be able to play with other people in No Man's Sky. Not that too little, too late, whatever you say. I'm just curious to see that game have a second wind, if at all. Especially if they are.
Well,
Yes.
the issue with it now isn't that it's not multiplayer. The issue with it now is that the massive universe in it is kind of broken.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm pretty sure you've seen it. You go into a world, there's some nice animals there. You go to another one, and the animals don't seem like they could ever possibly function or live.
True. I like.
And it's not just because the design is bad for them, because it's randomly generated, but it's because they're actually glitching out. They're actually broken.
Yeah.
It's
the only thing I'll say is like, I think with the stuff that they have added over the last few updates of like base building and things like that, that in conjunction with multiplayer makes it sound more interesting. It adds life to those worlds, even if parts of them are broken. But I don't know. Like I just want to know what like a 2.0 No Man's Sky like
a game sold to me
looks like that
without multiplayer, if it was never so broken.
Mm-hmm.
Because a multiplayer was a kind of a big deal breaker for me, but at the same time, the game itself seemed interesting enough, so long as it wasn't fundamentally broken.
Yeah, but also like we don't know what this, if like the stuff that they put out with this patch is gonna try and fundamentally change some of that as well.
Yeah, it's at this point. At this point, I'm not sure how much they can do.
Yeah, that's the bigger thing.
Because a big portion of that world, because a big portion of that world just exists online.
Yeah.
Because it has to, because it's too big.
Yeah. And then, I'm curious because I'm gonna assume the Xbox One version will be kind of like its own universe, separate from the others, but we'll see.
Yeah, I guess it'll have to be.
But they went ahead and they created a massive universe, and it seems to me in order to really fix it, they would have to burn it down and try again.
All right, now we're in territory I'm thinking about.
And unless I'm wrong about how that entire thing works, it just doesn't seem like a thing they're going to do. It doesn't seem like they're going to say, hey, we're going to wipe the entire universe we built because it doesn't work properly.
Yeah.
And hey, this one seems to work great so far, so this is the one we're going to use now.
I think like there's potential for them to do that on Xbox specifically, and it's kind of like a soft relaunch with the Xbox release, but yeah, I feel like they're not going to change it that fundamentally. So,
and I think that's what it needs.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah. I don't know.
I just hope for their sake that that this patch launches smoothly. as far as like the multiplayer function of it, because they don't need any more bad press for that game.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that it does. I feel like it's just impossible for it to work the way it should day one. But
Yeah, I think so.
But I'm curious to see it out in the wild again. The only other news story I want to talk about, because no one really cares about the Vita.
Oh my god, I care about the Vita. I'm so upset about this.
All right, we can talk about. There's no more physical Vita games. Sony's discontinued physical Vita game productions. Now, does that like include like third parties?
I don't think so.
It can't, right?
Yeah, I mean, like it.
Like, they haven't. What? When's the last time?
Nobody releases physical for Vita. Yeah.
Yeah, it's There's.
I mean, the digital store is literally all that matters.
Limited
like,
Run.
That's where I buy all my games.
Limited Run is a company that prints physical versions of like some indie games, and they've done Vita games. I just like Stardew Valley came out on Vita this week. So like there's still Vita games that happen, but yeah, Sony said they plan to end all Vita game card production by the close of fiscal 2018, so March 31st, 2019.
It made me laugh that people were like, "This is the death of the Vita." I was like, nobody buys physical copies of those games. You just get them from the store.
Yeah.
And literally nothing has changed, really. Like,
yeah, no one's buying them then.
The Vita still doesn't get support. I mean, like, it's the same as it's always been.
Yeah.
And it's only for America and Europe. They didn't even say Japan, so like they're fine.
Yeah. It says Sony, I guess, did not quote unquote have an active line outside of Japan and some parts of Asia, so yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. Rest in peace, Vita. Pour one out for the Vita. But celebrate the Vita 2 in everything you do on the Nintendo Switch.
TOO or TWO?
Get out of here.
Both. It's TOOWO. The only other last story that I had was Microsoft has announced a new controller. It is an adaptive controller. This is just a feel-good story. The Xbox Adaptive Controller is launching this year. It is an accessibility-driven controller.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's Phil Spencer, my dude, my boy, said on our journey of inclusive on our journey of inclusive design. We have taken a wider view of our fans and more inclusive approach designing for them. By taking an inclusive design approach and considerations of gamers who might not be able to reach all the bumpers and triggers or hold a controller for an extended period of time, for example, we were able to design a controller that provides a way for more fans to enjoy gaming. On our journey of inclusive blah, blah, that quote I just said. It's cool. Like, I'm not really sure how it works, just like looking at the picture of it. But it's really rad. It's a really great concept. It's just a really good feel-good thing. They partnered with Able Gamers, which is a charity for accessibility in video games, to help test this controller, and I guess the results were really they tested really well. So yeah, it's a feel-good story. The only not feel-good part about it is it's $100, which is a little bit of a bummer, but I understand, like,
from what I understand, that's still like a good cheap price for
an accessibility-friendly controller.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm curious just to see it out there and see what people think of it once it's out in the wild. But
I'm curious of how proprietary, I should say. It is.
It's cool because it looks like it's got a bunch of 3.5 millimeter jacks in the back that you can kind of connect tons of stuff into.
Yeah, because like hopefully you can like use it for like almost any other system or any other thing. Because like
True.
I think that will really make that really shine if it was just like not necessarily third party, because I don't know if Microsoft could do something like that, but like just make it open that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the way it's designed to like basically hook up with other accessibility buttons, or joysticks or controllers or like foot pedals and things like that. I feel like it is possible to like easily break this to work with other things, and obviously like it'll work with PC, which I feel like if you were looking for accessibility controller options, you were probably already playing on PC. because you can use whatever the fuck you want. So I think it'll probably work out. But yeah, I watched a little video just now, and people watching the video version of this got to watch along with me, of just like how it works, and it seems cool. So yeah, I don't know, it's just feel good story. Like I said, I'm all for accessibility in video games. More people that play video games, the better. After that, Shenmue 3 got delayed. Skull and Bones got delayed. I don't know how much we want to lean into those stories, but
Not at all.
Nobody cares.
did my and
Think as long as you want Shenmue 3, as long as you're good, that's all it.
I want you to be good for Huber. Like, not even for me. Like, I don't care that much. I'll play the remasters. I'll give him a shot, but I don't know. Just want you to be good for Huber. That's it for news. You guys want to take a peek in the mail sack?
Do it.
Nah, skip it.
Oh, man, we got like a voicemail. We got all these anime questions. Scott, we can't skip the mail sack this week. Let me see.
So excited.
Do you guys want to? We have a voicemail from last week. Do you guys want to start with that? Sure. Yeah, maybe. Let me see if I can find it. More importantly, here it is. Da-da. It's from our good friend Silver PR. And I'm gonna vamp for a minute while it's downloading. Please download faster. Voicemail. Video games. Video james. Video james? Video james like games with a J. I don't know.
I thought it was Video James.
Yes.
Or Vidya James.
Vidya James. My good old friend Vidya James. Visual James. Alright. It's downloaded.
What up, guys? Hope you are here. I hope everybody's doing good and well. Not much to talk about. I mean, quite half exhausted. I mean, it's an hour and a half to go before my shift ends.
It's a 7-minute long
And,
voicemail.
it's been a couple rough weeks for me because my boys haven't allowed me to sleep well this past 10 days or so. And, coming to work like half asleep in a graveyard shift, it's not good. But, hopefully in the next month or so, things could change for the better. And I'll be doing a better shift at this one. I mean, not that I'm bothered by this one. It's a really quiet one. But regardless, I think it's a change of scenery. I think it's for the best for everybody in my family. So, but aside of that, let's talk about video games. First of all, Mad Max, like I talked last week, I mean, I was in the last mission, and that's pretty much it. I finished the last mission, and I quite was underwhelmed when it came to the final boss. I mean, it's pretty much the same things you were doing the whole game, but like in a higher volume, and it's just like, man, it's just a bland final boss. But regardless, I did enjoy the game as a whole, and I would leave it on my hard drive because there's a couple things that I need to collect to try to get some other trophies. And I kind of like the setting, so it feels like a palate cleanser for me to leave it there and just
Shout out
play
to
it when
Mad
I
Max.
feel the need for it. So it overall, it was a good game for me. Also, I did some Trackmania Turbo. My boys do enjoy that game when I play it, so I kind of like, even though it's a very punishing, precision, time trial kind of game, I kind of like enjoy it in little chunks, and it goes to be seriously, when I play that game, it just brain exhausts me when it comes to like, oh, I had to break here, and oh, I had to lose the gear here. No, and time trial. No, the gold trophy cards go ahead. Oh, what I did wrong? Wow. It's kind of like crazy precision game. So, but regardless, I do enjoy it in small chunks though. Also, I did some little bit of Rayman Legends, and when it comes to my kids and watching me play that game, they didn't feel it. I don't
Really?
know. I don't know why. I mean, I never been into Rayman games in the past. I don't recall playing the first games on the PlayStation 1 era or any other era. And this is pretty much like my first Rayman game in my entire life. So, but my boys didn't caught the attention of it. So I don't know. Maybe some point I'll try it a little bit more, just to see if they like it or not. Regardless, I mean, it's not a game that I'm not feeling. It's never been a cup of tea for me. So, but regardless, it was free and plus, so I tried it out. And last but not least, I got this mobile game that I downloaded like a couple weeks ago. I mean, never mentioned mobile games in this podcast, but I got this one
No, we
just
don't
for
like that
you
trash.
guys. The name of it is Horizon Chase. If you haven't heard about this game, I think it had a lot of awards back in 2015 when the game came out. It's like it's a racing game that it's in the essence of, let's say, games like Outrun, Pole Position, uh, Top Gear, you name it. Rad Racer, if you can mention a couple of those. Back in the Nintendo days, it's quite the old school kind of racer, and it had this beautiful aesthetic that it's very neon colorish, and also like 16-bit ish with polygons. It's quite different from other races out there. And I heard about this game because there's a HD version that are coming next week that I'm quite interested in buying. And then again, like, there's a mobile version, and I downloaded that version, and all right. So I tried the demo.
George Cruz really liked
The
that
unlocking
game.
of the game was $3. I'm like, you know what? For $3, heck yeah, I'll play this game, and I have enjoyed the heck out of it. For touch controls in a racing game, it was quite fun. It's quite fun, and you should try it out. I mean, it's not, you can download it for free and then pay for the whole game afterwards if you want. So, it doesn't hurt. Or just wait for the HD version and try that one out. I think it's gonna be a good one. And that's pretty much about video games. I just want to talk about one side tangent that it's a movie that I saw last week.
Avengers again.
Batman Ninja.
Oh shit.
If you haven't seen it, I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's quite amazing how it has this new anime aesthetic, that it's the new 3D style aesthetic, that it drives me nuts because the frames per second on the animation feels off, but at the same time looks cute depending on how the production is. And I think Batman, got the better of the production. I mean, there's a couple of like Netflix originals that have this kind of animation, and I never get the chance to admire those. Like, I found them so bland and so grayish. But in Batman Ninja, it felt right for this kind of style anime. And I'm watching a production of this caliber being done by just Japanese people. It's out there. It's amazing. Not being done by the usual American audience animators. Uh, it's a great story. The premise is kind of ridiculous. It's anime ass anime. It gets to a point that it's really anime, and you'd say like, "Oh, this is over the top." But at
Hell
the end of the
yeah.
day, at heart, it's a Batman story. It gets to the serious parts of a Batman story, and my God, it has one of the best Joker versus Batman battles I have seen in years. So you should try it out. It's you should watch it. It's a good movie. If you like anime, you like Batman, I think they did a good fusion of both. So, but yeah, that's pretty much about it, guys. Hopefully things get better throughout the weeks. But regardless, without further ado, have a fun one. Have a happy weekend. So here at NYC, signing out.
Thank you, Silver.
Thank you.
That Batman anime sounds alright. I know a lot of people that liked it. So
I've heard
specifically
mixed things.
two people, Brandon Jones and Craig Miller, liked it, I guess. Let's take some questions. I'm gonna get you engaged, Miranda.
I'm excited to be engaged.
Harold at USFHBomb. Harold Yanni Price is his current Twitter name, so
Lord.
that'll just tell you where we're at this week. In light of the age 35 meme, what is something you wish to accomplish by 35? Now, for kids out there who are not hip to the trends, there's, I guess, like I don't know the origins of it, but it's like, like a healthcare professional recommends that by age 35 you should have done blank, and people have just, I guess like originally it was like somebody said that you should have saved like twice your income, your annual
Yeah.
income. It's like fucking
For retirement,
what?
yeah.
Yeah, it's like no, that's not happening. But people have been inserting like by age 35 you should have caught all of the Pokemon in the world, stuff like that. So what is a jokey thing that you would want to do by the time you were age 35?
My first impulse was just to be like really real. Be like, yeah, I'd like to have my shit together by the time I'm 35.
I'd like to have a clinical professional recommend that I have my shit together by age 35. Yeah, okay. I was hoping for something a little bit more fun, but
Oh, you expect too much of me.
I mean that's fair. Nabishin, by age 35, what would you expect to have done?
Be married and have kids.
Okay.
That's the biggest joke of all.
Got him!
Got him!
Got him! Scott, by age 35, what would you...
Play an MMO with Nabishin.
What a goal right there. Let's not just get you into multiplayer games, Nabishin. Let's get you into massively multiplayer video games.
I mean, it's a good joke
It is a good joke.
and a relative impossibility.
Yeah. By age 35, you're expected to watch at least 500 episodes of One Piece. Not even half of it by then, I'm sure.
Oh, Lord. It'll go on until we die.
Yeah, I'd honestly just rather be dead, but we got one from Trevor Thompson at WhatEvanTrevin, which is a good Twitter handle.
It is.
He says, Miranda, please rank your favorite members of Organization 13.
Legit is they could all be numbers for all I am aware of them.
How about I throw I'm gonna read you.
One of them's name is like Axel, I'm not sure.
Yes. How about I read you a list of their names?
And I'll rank them by my favorites. I can
yeah,
do that.
and you just tell me what's your favorite and what's your least favorite. I would do it off the top of my head, but I'd rather just list them in order, and I'd fuck it up.
Okay.
No, that's only some of them. God damn it. I guess that's all of them.
Don't give me too many options.
There are 13 members of Organization
Oh
13.
shit. No way.
I'll go through them slowly, don't worry.
Okay.
Demix, Luxord, Zaldan, Zigbar, Axel, Roxas, everybody knows Roxas, Xemnas, Shion, Cyax, Marluxia, Lexius, Zexion, Larxene, and Vexen.
I had one picked out and I already forgot it. That's how similar all of those names are.
Well, they all have X's in them because they're all anagrams with the word X, with the letter X added to them. But let me tell you how dumb Kingdom Hearts is.
Yeah.
Was it
No
Demix?
thanks.
Was Demix your favorite? Was Roxas your favorite?
I think it was like one or two after Roxas.
Xemnas, Shion, Cyax, Marluxia.
I think it was Zemnis.
Xemnas? Okay.
Yeah.
He's the leader. So that's fair.
Good pick on my part.
What about least favorite?
Like the first four.
Okay, Demix, Luxord, Zaldan, and Zigbar are all least
Luxord.
favorite.
That was the one I was like.
Luxord sucks. So that's that's fair. Luxord's like, how did you even get in here? He's got this whole gambling thing. He throws dice, turns you into cards. It's a fucking mess.
That sounds awful.
His boss fight's really annoying. Anyway.
Yeah, no, he's the actual worst.
Yeah.
I made good picks all around.
Who are, I guess, less likable,
Mhm.
but he's not much of a character.
Yeah, he just sucks.
And the big thing about Organization 13 is they're supposed to be trying very hard to do characters, except for one person.
And it's Luxord. More like Nerd Lord, am I right?
Except for two people.
Yeah.
The leader Xemnas, and then Cyax.
Yeah.
Everybody else is supposed to have feelings.
Yeah. Even Xemnas, I think, has his own way of coming across. Trevor Starkey at Snarky Starkey says, "Do y'all think Kingdom Hearts 3 will feel at all accessible to people who have only played 1 and 2?" I think
I sure as hell hope.
2, sure, to some extent.
I think like it depends on, because like the Kingdom Hearts 3D, the 3DS one, did a okay job of like, here's a summary of each of all the other games. I imagine there will probably be like an optional video in Kingdom Hearts 3 to watch, to be like, here's a recap of everything Kingdom Hearts. Like it's going to depend a lot on the quality of that. I feel like if you've played 1 and 2, I think you'll have an idea at least of like, or you'll at least be able to catch up to like what they're trying to accomplish in 3. Like, you know, as folks that have played all the other ones, like I know exactly what 3 is all about, like what they need to get done in that game, in that story, and like what a lot of the goals along the way are. Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, at the same time, they only really have to recap 1, 2, and
Birth by Sleep,
Distance.
and I guess Stream Drop
They
Distance.
don't have to do Birth by Sleep because that's also news to Sora.
That's true.
So
Characters will probably recap that for him in the game.
Their backstory is mostly irrelevant to him, except for a small few parts that matter, which will have to be told to Sora at some point.
Yeah,
Or they will sidestep it entirely and make it not time.
that's true.
None of it matter, which is, it'll be more accessible than most people think. It just probably, it'll get overhyped by people like Alex, who've gone through the entire ride.
Yeah.
And then people won't get it. And yeah, that whole thing.
Like,
It's not going to be as accessible as we want it to be. But
yeah.
When you consider how everything was done, they don't have that much to recap because Sora is left out of a lot of the games.
Yeah. I'll say like,
as far as the weeds go.
I jumped into 2. Like 2 was the first one that I really played. Yeah, I'd seen a little bit of 1. And a lot of people say like, oh, well, you won't understand 2 if you didn't play Chain of Memories. But like, the beginning of 2 is confusing for everybody at first. Like, it's intentionally supposed to be like the rug pulled out from under you. And then they kind of like, they do a pretty good job of recapping what you need to know to go through that story.
Almost. So, as for someone who played Chain of Memories first, it's confusing for the first day. After the second day, it should hit you like a truck. For a few specific scenes in Chain of Memories.
Also,
like, oh damn, this is good.
Also, like, playing through Kingdom Hearts Final Mix recently, like the Final Mix version of that game, they directly reference like nobodies and explain what they are in that version of that game. So it's, you know, I feel like if you played those 2 versions of 1 and 2, like, you know, whatever, but it's hard to know because like they'll probably have a system of recapping what's up, but we just don't know what they're doing as far as that's concerned. So, like, it'll probably be like a 7-minute video. Maybe they'll just do a movie that's actually recapping all the video games. It's like here's this 3-hour movie.
About it as well. Whenever in these types of games, because it was 100% the case in 2, and yeah, kind of the case in 1 as well. When you would be confused for not knowing a backstory, so are generally the people around you because they don't know it either.
Yeah.
So it plays into you not knowing generally plays into the feel of it.
And like, I think that also it's part of what makes Sora such like a lovable goof, in my opinion. It's like there's that moment where in Kingdom Hearts 2 where Mickey reveals something big to Sora and he's like, what? And he literally does that and it's like, oh, this is fun. Yeah, we're all in this together. Nate McKinney at Mick with a Mouth says, "What's the single strangest anime you've ever watched?" My vote is Puni Puni Poemi. Also, explain to the misguided people why Makoto is best girl.
That's not the strangest one. It's up there, but it's not that strange.
I don't even know. I'm like so quick to judge things that like the second things get too weird for me, I'm like, bye, and I just stop watching it.
When was the last time you did that? Just for my reference.
I'm so picky. But I will say, if I was gonna have to pick one that I've watched that was probably the weirdest, it'd probably just be Madoka Magica. Like,
I was gonna say Madoka Magica, so, but like Madoka Magica is like weird on like a high level. Like it's like getting into some fucking concepts, and it's like going for it, and you're like, why are we doing this? Like, why is this cutesy anime fucking moe show getting into like the looping and the like the futility of life and like the futility of decisions and how like the fucking chaotic effects of all of our decisions ruin it's like, why are we going here? And it's so depressing. It's like it's weird because of how deep it goes into its own rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah,
and it's a lot to even at the end, it's hard to understand for a minute until you like really sit there and you ruminate on what the hell you just watched.
Yeah, I think it's like, because I went into that thinking I wasn't gonna like it, but I ended up liking it, and I thought it was well done. It's just like really depressing.
Oh yeah,
Madoka Magica reminds me a lot of Donnie Darko in a weird way.
That's weird because I hate Donnie Darko.
I don't like Donnie Darko that much either, but in that like, I'm going to take this decision out of someone else's hands for the better of all of everyone kind of vibe. Like the ultimate result of Donnie Darko is kind of like where it was at with me. So, but Madoka Magica is pretty good. That original series. So, my mind went to the same spot. So,
okay, I'm glad.
What about you,
Nabishin? Nate did pick a good one by saying Puni Puni Poemi, but like I don't think that one's like the weirdest one I've seen. Probably up there would maybe be Super Milk-chan, but that's super old.
What about that one Laura Bailey did the voice of about the kid?
What, Kodacha?
Kodacha? Yeah, that was fucking weird.
No, that one's not weird. That's not weird at all. That's
oh
no, Kodacha is a very deep and very good series. Well, reading it is good. I'm not sure how the anime ended, but
the
like,
anime's pretty weird.
I mean, like the anime is not that weird. It's not that weird. Like, and like if you want weird, look at something like Puni Puni Poemi, like or Excel Saga or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, my vote is for Super Milk-chan.
I don't get into those hard drugs kind of animes, man.
Fun fact about me, like Excel Saga is what really made me expand on my anime like stuff, because like that was just a random rental from Blockbuster, and like I rented the first episode and like I really enjoyed it, and like that's where Nabishin came from, and that's how I started everything.
Yeah, that's where it all came. That's where it all started. What were you gonna say, Miranda?
I thought of one, but I can't think of what the name is.
Can you describe it?
So yes, so it starts off this guy who like somehow accidentally ends up becoming like a superhero.
One Punch Man.
And no. And he has a friend who's like a police officer who's like constantly sending messages to his girlfriend, who we find out doesn't actually exist. But more importantly, there gets to a point where it just goes off the rails. Like, no, it was just at the beginning, this guy just becoming like a hero for the people, and then it's like he like goes to the moon.
Okay.
And he's giant size. He's fighting people and he wins, and then you find out that there are like a bunch of other people who are chosen to be like him, and then sort of in the end, him and his best friend are gay together. Like,
all right, that sounds all right.
Like,
Bobo.
It's just off the rails.
Bobo is actually a fucking weird ass anime. I'm into it though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Let me tell you about my nostril kung fu.
Cool.
Trevor, at Trevor Snarky Starky again. Follow up non Kingdom Hearts question for Miranda. I watched Death Note, and I'm a season and a half into My Hero Academia. What anime should I watch next? Because keeping in mind, I'm basic as fuck.
All right, you basic bitch. Go watch Haikyuu.
Haikyuu, okay.
That's it. It took me about 10 seconds to decide this when I saw this tweet.
Okay.
Because it's a good sports anime. And even if you don't like sports, shut the fuck up. It's a good, inspiring anime. Okay. Watch Haikyuu. It's the ish. Talk about it with all your friends. All of us watch Haikyuu. The good ones, anyway.
Shout out to Haikyuu, I guess. Cameron Abbott at Unsexiest Comedy says, how badly did you cry? With no context. So I'm guessing he's talking about Kingdom Hearts. Unless, like, there was something recently, Miranda, where you're like, how badly did you cry?
No.
I cried, I would say, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, I cried like a 4 about Naruto this week. Multiple times. So, like, it adds up to, like, a 12. I didn't. I would say I got like emotional. I didn't cry though. I will absolutely cry when I play that game multiple times, guaranteed. But there was nothing like about what they showed of Kingdom Hearts. It was just kind of like the feeling of like hearing people that I know and respect who also give as much a shit about Kingdom Hearts play that game and say like it's like legitimately very good. Like hearing Ben War say like I went from very worried to not worried about this game was a thing where I was like, man, like because I'm sure you're in a similar boat, Nabashin. Like there's like this anxiety I've had about it. Of just like, you know, I know it's not going to be as good as I want it to be. And there's still like a little bit of that. It's just like it helped alleviate that a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, and we're not on the same page of this, but like Final Fantasy 15 like really like made me like worry about like this game a lot for multiple reasons. And also recently finishing Mass Effect 3 is like just like fucking stop rushing games, just fucking finish your games, take as long as you need. I don't give a shit, just finish your games.
Yeah.
So like it seems like they're finally at that point now.
Yeah.
And if they need to delay it, please do. Like I just don't care. I want a very good game. I want a fully realized game. I want everything you want to put in that game and just like make it good. That's all I want. That's literally all I want.
Yeah. And like just hearing this stuff about the world design and exploration and the combat, all of it together in conjunction of like the story stuff that we've seen, like, you know, I keep flashing back to like seeing like young Xehanort and young Ericus, like knowing that I'm gonna get shit like that is like world building and like really answering questions that I've had about like the world and things like that. Like it makes me feel really good about where that game is and what it's doing.
Makes me feel validated for my 16 years of playing these games. So.
And that's not it's a tough line to walk, and it feels like they know that to a pretty big extent, where like in the past it feels like they've kind of lost touch with that, and them like working to make all these mechanics come together and these worlds come together and these characters come together, because it's gonna be like a lot. It is like very Avengers like, and it's like we get to see the old guard with the new guard in this game. Like, you know, we're going to see a lot of stuff that we've dreamed about for years, since 2010, since we saw Birth by Sleep. So it's a validating feeling. It's fun. People are just, it's nice to just be excited and not have to feel guilty about it, you know? Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was not teary emotional, but just like satisfying, you know? I said, to Nabashin when we were texting earlier, I was like, I just had a smile on my face the whole time the Easy Allies were talking about the game. I think that is it. I just want to make sure there are no replies that didn't have the IPQ hashtag that I missed. My cat's whining in the background. Yeah, that's it. We lost Scott at some point in there. His internet probably finally gave up on him. But that's it for questions. Thank you, everybody. Remember, you can tweet your questions at IrrationalPod. Use the hashtag IPQ. We will read them on the show. You can also send your emails to mailsack@irrationalpassions.com or leave a voicemail like Silver PR did. 404-590-1337 is the voicemail line. A couple of quick things before we get into our final segment, which I don't know if you must have been around for bets before, Miranda.
I was.
Okay. If you like the show, you can follow the show and the website on Twitter at IrrationalPod. You can rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher and Google Play. We're all available on all of those. We're not available on Spotify because they won't let us be. So that's them. You go email support.spotify.at-website.com. Maybe they'll let us be on Spotify. If you like this show, we have other shows on our website. Input, a video games news show led by Jarrett Green, Logan Wilkinson, and George Cruz Alvarez. It is a very good show, all about news, a little bit shorter, and they get into it on input, as they say. And you can also check out my monthly show, Get Acquainted. It is a one-on-one interview show. I've had Andrew Renee and Roger Picorni on. I am pretty proud of those episodes. They only come out once a month, and they're pretty short as well, so you should go check those out. And if you like, or for everything else, I should say, irrationalpod.com. It's the place to be. One more time, Miranda, where can people find more of you on the internet?
Find me on Twitter at JaegerX7. That's JaegerX7. And if you want to see all my rad social media managing, you can follow Vertical Slice at Vertical Slice _ for now.
Or Vertical Slice MD. One of the two. Whenever you get to this episode, depending. VerticalSliceMedia.com is the website?
VerticalSliceMedia.com. Come listen to my anime podcast. That's all I ask.
What's your anime podcast called?
Trash Otakus.
Oh my goodness. That's really good.
I'm very proud.
That's really good. Cool. Go check them out. Randy, you're rad. And
yay.
and your stuff is rad, and thank you for coming on the show again. But all that
Thanks
bullshit
me.
aside, now it's time for bets.
Ish.
We have a very special bet made by Nobishin this week. I'm very excited about it. Now, we have betting teams, right? Last time you were on, we had our old betting teams. We have new betting teams now, Miranda.
Okay.
It is Nobishin and I versus Scott and Tony. Now, by default, you're going to have to be on the meme team, Scott and Tony's team, as they have no one here now to represent them.
Oh, dang.
If maybe we can follow up, maybe if Scott pops back in here, or we can follow up with him to get his bet. This week's bet. Detroit Become Human releases on Friday, May 25th. We've all been waiting for it our whole lives.
Mm-hmm.
How much difference will the overall Metacritic be compared to the average of what the podcast hosts from Input, a video games news show, believe it will be? Now, if you don't listen to Input every week, they've essentially talked about David Cage and Detroit every week for the last year, I feel, for their entire year of existence. Sometimes we lovingly refer to it as the David Cage Power Hour. So I did the due diligence and gathered their scores before this. It's on a scale of 1 to 100. So Logan said 74, George said 70, and Jarrett said 83, specifically because stupid shit impresses us. That was his reasoning. So 70, 74, and 83 divided by 3. That's, boy, I fucked that up, didn't I? Divided by 3. So an average of 75.6. So how much of a difference will there between the actual score and the input average? So the input average is 76.3. Or was it? God, I can't remember. I'm gonna make sure I did that right.
You're 75.6.
75.6. Thank you for having some kind of memory at all. So will it be more or lower? Give me your guess. How much, Miranda? You can actually.
Do I have to say if it's higher or lower, or can I just say what the difference is going to be?
I would say you have to say it's higher or lower. I feel like we gotta.
Dang it. We'll go with 10% above.
10% above. So you think it'll be
Shit impresses us.
86.6. That would be impressive, honestly.
85. 85.6.
85.6. God, Lord help me. Somebody give me some coffee, something. I'm going to go, because at this point I'm just going to dictate it out. I'm going to say it's going to be 72. It's going to be just 2 below. 3 below. Nabishin?
I think it'll be a solid 80. So about like 4.4.
A lot of faith in that game. I appreciate that.
I don't know if it's my faith in the game or my lack of faith in people scoring the game.
Man, I feel like this is our 4th go around on the David Cage train. I feel like this is gonna be it. Like, people are done with this shit.
Who knows? Maybe it'll be really good.
I'm hoping. I'm gonna play
It
that
has
game.
what's his name, James Avery in it, and he's really pretty. Maybe that'll help.
It's got that girl from the Cult show that I kind of liked.
She's really good too.
Yeah, she's a good
The Following,
actress.
by the way.
The Following,
Good.
thank you. God. Out here on that trash media with me. I love it.
Trash.
It's, The Following was okay. It had Kevin Bacon in it.
And God, I know his name. I know his last name.
I
is
know who you're talking
Fontenay,
about. He's in
but I don't know his first name.
He's in Altered Carbon.
Is he?
That's all.
Another reason to watch Altered Carbon.
Yeah, there you go. Man, the fucking main dude in Altered Carbon also very pretty. He's got fucking jawbones that could cut diamonds. Last week's bet, to resolve last week's bet. Last week's bet was how many views will our Shin Megami Tensei review have? Now, we didn't post a review on Tuesday like I thought we would because the game is longer than Scott could get through. We did post his RPG primer, and we could use that in its place if that is okay with you, Nabishin. But I wanted to ask a co-host first. Okay. Now, I will say his last RPG primer and review, they both did very well. Let's see. I don't actually know what's up. I guessed 370, Blessing guessed 25, Tony guessed 200, and Nabishin guessed 10. I think I got this one. I'm going to let y'all know. His post currently has 3,304 reviews. Views, I should say. Which means I took it. Huzzah for me. Huzzah for Scott for putting out these RPG primers, because people fucking love. They eat this shit up. You need a guide for some fucking weird 3DS weeb game? We got you covered. IrrationalPod.com.
That shit.
They do. So, like I said, more power to them. Which brings the team point totals up to Team Nanashi, rock hard at 12 points. That's our thing. If you were worried, and the current name of the meme team, and I'm sorry Miranda for this, is Team I Don't Feel So Good, which is the current meme. I suppose.
Is it?
I think it's been passed up by the Captain America.
Yeah.
So.
For sure.
Well, I mean, they're not here to rename their team, but I'm sure they'll probably agree once we get them back here. They're still rock hard at 5 points, and whatever their bullshit sound is. That's it. That's the show. I've won the last word. To kind of reiterate something or throw it out there that I disagreed with something. And I've also won Danny Juarez's love and affection until it's up for grabs next week. But I'm just gonna hold that one close to the chest. Final word on something. I'm trying to think. Some contentious. Yeah, I'll reiterate something we all know. My Hero Academia is real good. You should take a minute, follow the Nabishin prompt, watch the first 3 episodes of My Hero Academia. Just see how you feel. First 2?
Yeah.
First 2. Okay.
They're just enough to make you cry.
I feel like for me it took the first 3, so I'll say the first 3.
Okay.
Just see how you feel, man. And if you're into it, you're into it. If you're not, you're not. It's whatever. You're missing out. Just know that. That is all I'm going to say. Because you didn't get to talk about My Hero Academia at all, Miranda. I feel bad.
I know. What the hell?
What do you think? I haven't watched any of season 3 yet.
I've watched the first 2 episodes of season 3, and I'm vibing. And then I keep seeing spoilers, but that's because I can't stop reading My Hero Academia fan fiction.
Oh boy.
So there's really nothing I can do.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna get into some spoiler territory once you see how everyone just fucks each other in season 4. Like,
Hey, I like cute things too. It's not all banging.
listen. It's all banging over here. I'll tell you what. It's all just fucking in this town. No, you're right. Cute things are good too. I just like, man, the Toad girl. I never remember her name. Sue.
Asui?
See.
She's fucking adorable, and I love her.
Oh, she's the best.
I just have a huge crush on her and her cute little toad face. So that's where I'm at. That's it. That's the show. Thanks for coming on, Miranda. Thanks for being a trooper.
Thanks for having me.
I know it's just fucking. It's a test of power.
It was a long time.
And we're at 3:12.
My stamina has been challenged in ways I never expected.
Yeah, I mean, that's just Irrational Passions podcast for you. Really just challenging concepts in ways that you couldn't have appreciated before, but here we are. Scott couldn't even make it. Lord knows he's done 400 episodes of these almost, and he's out there. Tony, I guess, popped in our chat at some point. He's like, y'all started this 4 hours ago, and you're still going. But yeah, thanks for sticking with us. We appreciate it. Go check out Vertical Slice. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in live. For those folks that did. Appreciate you always. Thank you, I don't know, to Danny Wiesner for opening music of Two Player Co-op and our closing music of The World Is Saved, being the best opener and closer ever, as always. I'm trying to think of anything else. Yeah, thanks, Danny Juarez, for always giving out your love and affection so easily. Thank you, Nobshin. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Tony, wherever you are, for just being there. For being great co-hosts. I've been your host, Alex O'Neill. Play your games, stay rational. We will talk to you all next week. Now it's time for titles, but we don't have anyone here to read titles.
Titles.
So I guess I'll read titles.
Do it.
Hey, Alex.
Yes.
I did not have you count me back in and my audio glitched.
Oh, when did it happen?
Let me find out. Somewhere around the second hour.
Oh, good. That's all right.
2 hours and 10 minutes into recording.
That's why we have a backup. All right. I guess I'll count you if I can count you back.
Titles.
Oh my God, Tony's here. It's almost like he knew. I said titles and he showed up. It's all right. Well, I'll just restore from the backup for this last bit.
Okay.
So Tony, you don't even have to start recording.
Oh, good.
But just send me the file that you do have, Miranda.
Yeah, of course.
Hit me with some titles, Tony.
All right. Fish aren't people. At Irrational Pass. Angry Dad and Sad Boy. This guy owns all my wood, y'all. I just play Roland. It's funny watching nobody play. Vidjig James and Trash Media.
Yo, shout out to Trash Media as a title.
I like that one.
What do you like, Tony, having not been on this show?
Having no context for anything?
Yeah.
I like Trash Media.
Okay.
That's the description of this podcast.
All right, let's not go there.
Just kidding.
Nabshin, what do you like?
Trash Media.
All right, let's do it. You know what? I really want Tony to say the title because the first thing people hear when they listen to the podcast will be Tony saying the title, and then expect him to be on the show, and then he won't be on the show at all. Miranda, do you have the Google Doc open?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna write this phrase that I want you to say.
Did you guys have a good show?
It was a good show. We talked about Kingdom Hearts.
That's why I wasn't here. No, I'm kidding. I wasn't here, but
I figured.
I would have been here, and I would have not talked at all during Kingdom Hearts chat.
We kept it pretty tight, I'll say. Tighter than it has been in the past. So, I highlighted it and bolded it. It's at the bottom of the doc.
The 4-hour runtime of this
looking
podcast
at it,
begs to differ, though, Alex.
All right, whatever, man. That's just our show in general.
Yeah, it's true.
All right. Silence on it since this is going to be from the backup. I can't have any talk over. When you're ready, Miranda.
You're listening to Irrational Passions Podcast, episode 379.
Trash media.
You can stop recording now. It's an option. So at least I have that to center the track. I forgot I gotta stop the live broadcast. Thanks everybody for watching. We love you all. Have a good night.